Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Clockwork Cantina, episode 158. I'm one of your hosts, Josh902, and this is the other host of the show.
DT3, what's going on, everybody? Hello.
What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. It is Tuesday, May the 2nd of 2023. We usually don't do show on Tuesday. We usually do shows on Mondays, but yesterday was a disaster at home, so that did not happen. But it turns out that it worked in our favor because I was able to finish Jedi Survivor yesterday. DT finished it also yesterday?
Yes.
Also yesterday he finished it, which means we get to talk about it today. The idea was we'll slot it in when we both finish it. We've both finished it. We will be talking about that in the second half of the show. So that everything that happened yesterday has had an effect on what's going to happen today, and it worked out. So
Honestly, it worked out great.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So that'll be in the second half of the show. Don't worry, we're not going to talk spoilers in the first half. That'll be in the second half of the show. I'm sure we will in the second half, and we'll give plenty of warning before we get there, because we always do. We don't want to ruin people's good time. But yeah, hey everybody in chat. Hi Val. Hi Marjan. Hi Jake. This last week has been such a blur to me because of everything that's been just everything that's been happening. So DT, why don't we just go ahead and start her up here with what we've been up to this past week, my friend?
Sure. Within the past week, I've been up to a lot of watching stuff, really. I've been watching a lot of things. I continued my watch through of the Mission Impossible series, so I finished that up. I watched Ghost Protocol, Rogue Nation, and Fallout, all of them. I had already seen Fallout before, but the other two was my first time, and they're pretty good. Honestly, I think most of the Mission Impossible movies are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Like, they're definitely enjoyable. Um, so yeah, they're a lot of fun. Um, I finished watching Lego Masters season 2. That was pretty fun. I'll probably start up season 3 sometime in the next week or so. I finished season 2 of Ash versus Evil Dead. That show has been fucking wild as well. Hopefully starting season 3 also soonish. Um, what other TV did I watch? I think that's it TV wise. Oh, the NBA playoffs and the NFL draft are two
Yeah.
things TV wise. Check that as well. But other than that, that's it for TV. Gaming stuff, Fortnite, and I'll be playing more Fortnite because we'll talk about why later. I played this wild ass creepy, well, not creepy, but this wild ass fucking game. I mean, I guess it is kind of creepy, but Doki Doki Literature Club. I don't know if you people out there have heard of this game or know what it's about,
I have heard of it. Yes.
but this shit is on another level, cuckoo bananas, bro. It was. I knew something was up with this game. Like I knew it wasn't what it seemed. But, that was something else. I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you, but, yeah, it was, yeah, it was wild, so I played that. I've been playing a lot of more Valorant lately too. I just kinda been getting the itch to play it again more, and then I'm playing it with Val too. She's we're having fun with that game. She's getting into it, and I'm, joining her for that. Um, what else? Oh, I played a little bit of GTFO. I don't know if you guys remember that game, but GTFO, I played a little bit of that. They like changed it up a lot lately or recently. And there was a streamer friend playing it and she was like, "Yo, you want to play?" I was like, "Sure." I haven't played this in a long time, so, don't expect anything great from me, but they also were kind of the same way, so it's like, oh, it worked out.
Mhm.
and it was fun. I only got to play one game of it though, but it was pretty cool. It was pretty fun. Uh, Movies, I watched Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which is Venom 2, and let
And
me
you
tell you that
loved it,
movie.
right? It was
And
perfect, beautiful, great
there
movie.
was there was so much carnage. You know what my favorite scene of the movie was? It was
What's
the
that?
one where Venom makes breakfast and acts a goddamn fool. That's my favorite scene of the whole movie. Nah, that was trash, bro. I ha that Venom breakfast scene is one of the worst things I've seen probably all year. It's, it's atrocious.
All
It's
year,
atrocious.
huh? You were watching a lot of
Yeah.
movies too, and that's the worst? Okay.
That's one of the well, that's particular
One
scene,
of the
I'd
worst?
say.
Gotcha. Yeah, okay.
I will say about this though, I do like the fight between like Venom and Carnage and stuff. That stuff is cool. But
Okay.
like the rest of the movie is just like, man, I'm like, this is just such a slog to get through. But it's like whatever. I was gonna check it out and I finally did it and I could say I've seen it and whatever. Another sequel I watched was Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and I liked it. I think if you like the first one, you'll definitely like this one. It's more of the same kind of vibe. So if you like the first Sonic movie, you'll like the second one. Scream 6, another one I watched. We had a little group watch on Discord, so I joined in for that. And it's a Scream movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think I might have liked it more than Scream 5, but I've only seen obviously 5 and 6 the one single time each. So but I think I like this one more than 5, but I don't know. But anyway, I mean, it's a Scream movie. You know what you're getting. It's the same thing every time, but slightly different, right?
Mm.
So it's kind of got the same formula going on, but it was enjoyable for what it was. Um, then I watched My Life as a Zucchini. That's a sad little animated French movie. If you want to watch that, uh, I watched this other movie from like the '90s called The Page Master with like
The
young
Page Master.
Macaulay Culkin or yeah, I had never seen that before. I was like, "What the hell?"
Really?
No, I was like, I didn't even know about this movie. I was like, "What
I
the hell is
watched it
this?"
all the time as a kid. It was one of my favorites growing up.
Yeah, I was like, I had never even. I was like, "What is that?" I thought it was like a Disney movie at first, but it's like a, it's not. It's like it was like a Fox movie or something, right? Like a twin, like
Yeah.
anyway.
What'd you think
And
of it?
I was like, Christopher Lloyd is in this. What the hell? That's so
Mhm.
cool. But no, yeah, it was interesting. It definitely it was like super 90s. I was like, man, this is a 90s ass movie right here.
As a kid, it
Even
hits you with like all those like all you want to be growing up, being brave and becoming like, you know, standing on your
yeah.
own and all that type of jazz type movie.
Yeah, no, honestly, it was pretty interesting for like for something like this. Again, I'd never seen this. I don't even know if I'd heard of it. Like I was like, wow, it was pretty interesting. So yeah, I had a good time with it.
Page
Um
Master.
then the last two things that I watched was the Florida Project, which man, Florida is a mess. Um
Yes, yes,
wow.
it is.
But but Willem Dafoe was Willem the friend, and he was the best in this movie. So he killed it. And then finally I watched the 1995 Ghost in the Shell movie, the anime one.
Mm,
I'd been meaning to watch that one for years. I heard a lot about it, so I decided to check that out. Uh, at least I should watch that before I watch the fucking Scarlett Johansson one, right? I mean, come on.
yeah.
So yeah, I watched it and it was fun. It was good.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
I wouldn't say it was fun, but like you know what I mean. Like
It's
I enjoyed
enjoyable.
it. It was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. I often say fun when I mean enjoyable.
Yeah, I do too. I gotta learn to be more descriptive with words instead of just saying the same. It was fun. Like whatever.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta
cool. I like it. I like it. I like it. I say that a lot. I like it. That was good. I like it.
anyway.
I
Yeah,
gotta
that's all the
expand our
stuff I've been up to.
vocabularies. I got
Exactly.
you.
I gotta get more descriptive language. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. So about yourself? Oh,
For
obviously, apart from playing Jedi Survivor, which you
yeah,
guys already
yeah.
know. But
Which
anyway,
that was in here before we changed the notes on my end too. So yeah, obviously Jedi Survivor. For me as well. So I watched a movie. I watched Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and that movie's metal, and it was a lot of fun. It was really cool.
that movie's rad as hell, dude.
A lot of cool fights. My first that first fight scene between spoilers, I guess, but I mean, come on, Batman and Shredder are obviously gonna clash. That first fight scene, that first one, that first round where they fight is fucking dope as shit. Especially like because there's references in here to the very first movie, live action movie, like when Shredder jumps down and it does the whole slow mo thing, just like in the fucking movie that they made. The original movie. That movie's fucking dope. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That's pretty cool.
Fucking awesome, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. So that's kind of like the only movie I've watched this past week. I streamed some dice making. I think. Yeah, I did. A little bit, just like an hour, 2 hours, I think, of some dice making stuff.
I think I streamed some dice making.
Well, here's the shit. All this stuff runs together. So the last dice making stream was after the last podcast we did. So I know it happened. I just don't remember which day it was. So I think it was a Wednesday. So I streamed some dice making. And then we watched the NFL draft. I watched the first round. I didn't watch any of the other rounds, but I always like to watch the first round. It's fun. We were all on Discord. We were watching. It's fun to I don't know. It's fun and it's awkward at the same time, especially when some poor kid doesn't get drafted early and he's sitting in the green room all night, which is exactly what he didn't want to happen. But if you're into sports, you have to be pretty deep to watch drafts. I feel like you have to be pretty into sports to watch drafts.
Yeah.
And I'm not the super sports fan, but I do like to watch the NFL draft, at least the first round. And you know, it's fun when you have somebody kind of new coming in, like Paula joined in with us for a little bit on the draft, and she was kind of getting into football a little bit, so that's cool. But for your average fan, you don't need to watch the draft. We just do it for fun. And then we just been watching some. It gets late nights on Discord. We'll throw on some It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and watch that. And you don't have to go in deep on that show. They're terrible people and it's funny. That's the show.
So anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah, exactly. I put a whole bunch of acid in your beer. I didn't want to be tripping balls on my own. Like that it's funny. It's terrible. They are terrible people, but it's funny. And then the majority of my time has been streaming Jedi Survivor, which we'll talk about in the second half of the show. But I'll put this in here for what you've been up to. I have no excuse not to stream video games because I did really long streams this past week. So that's on me. Turns out I just make excuses when I don't want to do a thing and lie to myself, I guess. Let's go ahead and hop into the news, DT. That's kind of all I've been up to, unless there's anything you want to say.
Now, Josh, you gotta stream God of War, Horizon, and Spider-Man, dude. Let's go.
Right, I know. I need to do it. I'm gonna do it. Spider-Man, I was kind of waiting until I could get it on PC, so I'm waiting for like a deep sale. But I can do Horizon. I already own Horizon. And I have no excuses anymore, other than I neglected pretty much everything else while streaming for such a long period of time. All right, DT, let's hit this gaming news, shall we? What do we got, bud? What's up first?
All right. First thing we got here is we have a release date for Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. From Software's next game, of course. It'll be hitting PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S. Xbox One and PC on August 25th, 2023. So this year, August 25th.
Ooh, Daniel, you are super robot-y. And your camera froze. I don't know if you can hear me.
Can.
Okay, your camera is frozen and you are a robot.
Well, that's weird because
Wait,
Doesn't look frozen on my end.
I think it's fixing. All right, your camera's not frozen anymore. Can you say something? Hello.
Hello.
It's normal. Okay, I don't know what that was about. That was weird.
Okay. Yeah, that was weird. It didn't show up on my end. I didn't. Yeah. Anyway, so
You're good.
as I was saying, August 25th, 2023 is the release date for the next From Software game, Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon. And there's a little release date trailer we can check out as well. Little
Sure
3-minute
can.
long trailerio
Let's
dealio.
check it out. Is this? I think I
Uh,
reacted to this one. I think this is the trailer I reacted to.
Might have been, yeah.
So let's check her out.
All right, let's do it.
Count us down,
3,
DT.
2, 1, go.
We're close to Rubicon. Wake the dog up.
You ever played any of these?
Handler
DT?
Walter verified.
I have not.
Activating cerebral coral control device.
I haven't played any of the Armored Core games, but I like mechs.
Mechs are
So-
cool. So this trailer sold me on the game. I wonder if it'll do the same for you.
Let's see.
Let the last cinders burn.
Augmented human C4621 has awakened.
Big ass tank mech going around. Fucking lightning whip. Shai Halud, robot version.
One of the infamous handler Walter's hounds. Interesting. You ready to climb the wall?
Know that voice.
Call sign Raven. Priority subject for termination. High on the list.
A coral response from the generator. Watch out.
Damn.
Why hide behind another's call sign?
I just like this fucking theme. This theme's dope. Meow.
Let's see how far they can fly.
How far can they fly?
Borrowed wings.
Yeah, I think that looks pretty fucking dope. Like, I'll be honest. I definitely I want to check that out. Also, those collector's
there-
editions are ridiculous.
There's collector's edition, which they have images below, which we can check that out as well.
What do you think of that
uh,
trailer, DT? Give us some thoughts.
I think it looks pretty neat. It's pretty interesting. We still have a few months before it comes out, so I want to see like more
More?
of it. But yeah, it does look cool though. Like I wonder how much like I don't know if in the other games there's like a whole lot of customization or not with the mechs, but definitely curious to see that kind of stuff too cuz I played a game not long ago called earlier this year called Damon X Machina. It had a lot of pretty fun mech customization, like with color schemes and parts and stuff. So hopefully there's something like that in this. But I mean, yeah, it looks. I think I think it's something that I could probably check out. I just wanna see more of it. But
See more
yeah,
of
it
it.
looks
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't look bad for sure.
All right.
And yeah, then obviously you threw up the collector's edition right there. We have the base game, the steel book, you got some stickers, you got a mech like statue figurine thing, art book, pin badges, and a digital soundtrack. So that's not bad. Pretty cool, pretty cool. So yeah, that's coming on August 25th. So this year just seems like it's a big year for games, huh?
It's loaded, right? Like
There's
it
so many,
is
like even from the beginning of the
loaded.
year, there's been so many games that I'm like, man, I want to get that. Man, I want to get that. But it's hard, it's a lot.
It's hard.
It's a lot.
It's hard.
Moving on, we have the official launch trailer for Redfall, which I believe is already out because I
Mm-hmm.
saw some people playing it yesterday. So I think this is out, but we could check this out real quick. It's only 2 minutes, so throw it up real quick.
Yeah. It's a
All
quickie.
right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
You want some ice cream?
Black hole sun.
Copyright claim.
Don't you come. Book off copyright. Eat a dick. All right, they are. Arcane August, Bethesda Softworks.
Cultists, psychic phenomena. Never seen anything like it.
This is not the Redfall I remember.
Ever forward! No one is coming to help you.
There is no death for us.
It's the four of us. Against the darkness.
No, no, no. No, no.
Oh,
No,
man.
no copyright, please. No, no, no. No, no, no. No copyright. It's a lot of vampires, man. No, 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 no. No copyright. No, no, no. No YouTube. No YouTube. No copyright. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. Open world. Redfall. Full of vampires. Running around with guns. Running vampires are fast and big. That's a huge bitch. Look at that big old thing, man.
Really huge,
I wonder like why some of these vampires are so massive compared to some of these other ones.
I don't know, but I heard reviews for this game were not good. I've heard streamers not like it. I've heard a lot of complaints about Redfall. And it's funny because like we've seen so much about this game and never once was I ever interested in it. I thought it looked bad from like the first moment I seen it. And apparently it is bad. So
yeah, I mean from the beginning that when they announced this game and everything we've seen from it, it has failed to impress me. Everything we've seen, so I'm not really like, it's not a game that I'm like looking like I'm like, oh man, I want to play this eventually. I mean, it looks all right, Like it looks like it could be it could be an entertaining time if you have like a couple of like friends, like if you have a full squad.
Yeah.
But like I don't think it's something that I would play alone,
I'm
So
looking at reviews of it right now. It's like, here's 2 out of 5, a 70 out of 100, 7 out of 10. It seems like a solid C- game, like. And how much are they charging for Redfall? Is this a $70 thing?
I don't know, but I feel like it is.
It is a $70 thing. Okay, for $70, you better be getting a B plus. Like like at least. Yeah. Yeah, they want you to pay $70 for video games. Sure, things cost more now, but like, man, I don't have $70 to waste on mediocre.
Yeah.
Especially with like, I saw a Bike Man post last night. He said the AI is bad. A lot of the loot is the samey. It's not varied enough. If you're playing in co-op, only the host gets progression. Like just a whole. Let me see if I can find the tweet. Actually, I'll fucking read that shit to you. Let me see if I can find it. It was a quick tweet. Where's the tweet at? It says here, Redfall, only host progresses saved in co-op. No hot join, bland map, bland loot, bland shooting, weak sound effects, bad AI, dull NPCs, repetitive everything, numbing barrage of samey weapon drops.
Damn.
And it says here, any crap game can be fun with friends. It is still weak and you deserve better, is his tweet. So it seems not good. It seems not good. That is a $20 game wrapped in a $70 price tag for some reason.
Yeah, that's nah.
That's not good. That's very bad.
Yeah. Well,
Hey DT, we can move on from that.
they can't all be winners, right?
Facts. But for $70, they better be at least trying.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can move on from that. This just dropped today. We had knew it was coming for at least a week, and we're at least Anakin. But
yeah,
there's a Star Wars event going on in Fortnite for May the 4th. And they've added Anakin, Padme, Darth Maul, and some clone troopers to the game. So if you click on the thing here, you'll see there's an image for Maul, and then we have some clones. You got the Coruscant Guard, you got the Wolf Pack, and the 332nd there, and then as well as the standard normal phase 2. And then we got Anakin, Padme, and then the 501st and Utapau, 212. You can also, if you do some of the quests that they have in game, you can get the Maul's Sith Infiltrator glider, and they also have weapon wraps for the clones as well.
that's cool.
So pretty dope stuff going on in Fortnite right now for the Star Wars event. I need to scrounge up some couple bucks here so I can get some of this stuff. But
Right.
I managed to get at least the pass with the Maul and the clone, so that's gonna be cool. And then they've added like in-game items where like you can get a lightsaber, and like the ability is to like throw rocks to a person, and it's cool, man. I was messing around with it last night. It's a lot of fun. So
Hell yeah, dude.
definitely looking forward to playing more of that later, because yeah, it's a pretty dope event. Yeah, cool stuff going on in Fortnite right now for Star Wars. But yeah. Other news, what else do we have here? We have Sony confirming that PlayStation games are coming, that more PlayStation games are coming to PC within the next year or so. Sony published their fiscal year 2022 consolidated earnings report, and containing a tiny bit of information on PC launches. Sony says it will continue rolling out catalog titles for PC, but didn't provide a timetable for the launch of any such PC releases. Obviously this is not a major surprise because we've had a bunch of games coming out on PC like Horizon, Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us, so on. Um, this means we could get other things such as Ghost of Tsushima and whatnot,
Yeah.
which I would
There-
love because if what I would want them to do is how they did Red Dead and then they split off Red Dead Online
Yeah.
and then they did Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Tsushima Legends. If they brought Legends over to PC, I would buy just that on PC because I already played the game. So I don't need to buy the whole game again. If they just did the online stuff, I would just buy the online stuff because that shit's awesome. I love Ghost of Tsushima Legends, man. Like just being able to play the online stuff again on PC would be phenomenal, and I would love that for sure. So I would buy that again, just that to have it on PC. But this brings the question: what other PlayStation games would you want them to bring over to PC, Josh? As somebody who has, you've been waiting on stuff to come to PC, right? Because you don't like playing it on PlayStation, I assume.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't played a lot. What is exclusive right now? I don't even know what's all exclusive on PlayStation. That's like, because I feel like everything I've wanted to play is now on PC. I just can't afford it because I'm broke. So, like Spider-Man's on PC now. Final Fantasy VII Remake is on PC now, although I probably will play that on console. And God of War, all that stuff's on PC now, so I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what the stuff they need to bring. So obviously God of War Ragnarok just came out on PS5,
Yeah.
so that'll be a while, but I think they'll bring it eventually, which I hope they do, because I don't have a PS5, so I want them to bring that. For me, that's one of the ones I want. I want Horizon Forbidden West. I know that just came out last year or this year? No, last year, right?
Yeah.
Or was it this year? I don't know.
I think it was
Anyway, I think it was last year. So that just came out last year. God of War came out last year. So it'll probably be a little bit before those come to PC, but I would like to see those come to PC. Ghost of Tsushima, obviously we just talked about. I would like for that to come. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the other like unless they start going further back, like PS3 era or like PS2 or something like that. But I think
Here's a thought. Wait,
Yeah.
why would you want that's an old exclusive to be remade and brought onto the PC? Like Majin says he wants Bloodborne. What if they did like a remake of Bloodborne and brought it on PC? Like they've kind of did that with this newest
they did
Last
that
of
with,
Us, right?
Last of Us, yeah.
Yeah. Not the newest Last of Us, the old Last of Us, and then they remade it and brought it on PC.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's an exclusive from previous gens that you might want kind of like remade and brought over? Anything stand out to you right now?
I would.
Because I'll straight up tell you, I want Siphon Filter. Like I want those remade and brought back because I love Siphon Filter. I'm a you'll lose, Majin, really bad. I want so I want Siphon Filter brought back. That's what I want. Like growing up, I remember playing it so fucking much, and they haven't even made a new game of it. Like there hasn't been like a new Siphon Filter really in like forever. I feel like, or at least one that I can play. Do a remake. How do you not remake that franchise? Like, come on.
Man, I don't know. There's some franchises that they just have not brought back, and I'm like, how have you not?
I don't know.
Like, I know they're bringing back Perfect Dark, but that's like a N64 one that I would love to see again. I know they're working on it, but it's like, man, I'm looking forward to checking that out. But that's N64, not PlayStation. I don't know. In terms of PlayStation, there's a lot of like older stuff that I like never got a chance to play. So I would love to get a chance to play some of those older games. Like this isn't necessarily like I guess a PlayStation game, but it was on the PS2 or actually was it or let me Google it real quick.
While
It
you're
might have
googling,
it might have only been Xbox, but
I got another one. Like I never played the OG Infamous. I've never played any of the Infamouses, right? Like I wouldn't mind seeing
Oh yeah.
like a remake and getting to play those. Like they're older games now, so a remake
Those
would be
those are
possible.
fun.
But
I played all of them. I think 1, 2, and then there's like 2 spin-offs. So I beat the
Mhm.
2 spin-offs, and I think I beat the second game, but I don't think I ever beat the first one. Or did I? I don't know. I don't remember. I played a little bit of those, but not yeah, I don't remember Okay, so I googled the game and it was an Xbox exclusive only. And then it was later ported to PC, but the one I'm going to mention is fucking Jade Empire. I would like for them to remake that.
oh man,
So I could finally play that one. Cuz I tried streaming it on PC like last year and it just would not. It's just too old of a game, I think.
too old one. Yeah, yeah. I HD like now I'm getting into just things I want remade. Like,
Yeah.
I'd like an HDified Dragon Age, some of those first, HD Jade Empire. Also a sequel, please, would be great.
Yeah.
Josh wants Lost Odyssey. I do. That's an Xbox game. I would love Lost Odyssey to be fucking
You guys know
remade.
what else Josh wants? Fucking was it Black and White or was that game?
Oh man, Black and White and the movies. Both of those Lionhead
Oh,
games.
the movies, of course, yes.
Yeah, Black and White. I can't tell you how fun Black and White is. Like, it's old as shit, and you can't even get it anymore. I have my disc somewhere around here. You can't get it anymore. It's impossible to get. The only way to play that game is to pirate it. And I would kill for like Xbox is sitting on those franchises right now, but because they own all that shit. Like we're getting Fable after so long, we're getting a new Fable. It's being made, and that's arguably the biggest thing that Lionhead ever did. But I definitely want, Black and White, a new Black and White, and
somebody who can make this happen, make the movies game.
another movies game. I know that one is very not gonna happen, but fuck, I would love for that. That's so much fun.
You guys are missing out by not making that happen, man.
One day we'll get on stream. We'll watch Troops. I made that with the movies. I just love how like you could just. How is there not a game of that? You know what I mean? Like, how is there not a modern that?
Oh yeah, it doesn't make sense. You would think that they would want to do that, but I don't know, man. That's
because to me that seems like no brainers. People love running things. There is a movie studio game, but it's not like the movies. It's not like you go in and shoot and make the movie and edit it all together. You just run a movie studio, which is like half of what the movies was.
that game. Like it's like people love The Sims, man. Like why don't you just make another like game like that? That's just the movies. Like what do you? It's they're kind of similar. Like I don't know, man.
Yeah, you're killing me. I'm dying over here. Anyway, we can move on.
Yeah, we move on. So in conclusion, I could not think of a PlayStation game because there's a lot of older games that I haven't had a chance to try. Well, okay, I'll give you one off the bat. Rad. It's called Robot Alchemic Drive. That one, I think I remember bringing that one up when we talked about like some of our games of the decade. You remember when we did some of those episodes?
Yeah.
I remember bringing that one up. So yeah, Robot Alchemic Drive, aka Rad, from like the PS2 era. I would like them to remake that game. That'd be cool, I think. Anyway.
Well, that's an Xbox game. It doesn't matter. We can move on. We spend enough time here. Let's move on.
All right. Moving on. Let's the last thing of gaming news we have here is that you can now give your friends a free PC Game Pass trial. Microsoft has launched a new friend referral program that will make it easier to convince your pals to play Redfall with you or any other game. It's no longer the $1 deal that they used to have, but So long as you have a friend who already subscribes, the Xbox Game Pass Friend Referral Program lets members give 14-day PC Game Pass trials up to 5 of their online friends. The process is very straightforward. Log into your account, click the Give PC Game Pass button, copy the code, and then fire it off to your pals through an email or text or message or whatever. And they have 30 days to redeem it. If they don't, the key will be available to share again after another 30 days. So this is specifically for the PC Game Pass, and not the Xbox one. So people are aware. But yeah, I think that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad. Pretty decent, pretty cool. Yeah. But I believe that'll do it for our gaming news.
Alrighty, we can mosey right along into
Mosey on
television
over
news.
to the television, which we have a couple of trailers here to start off. We got one for The Witcher Season 3, and then Black Mirror Season 6, and then another one for the Twisted Metal series. So let's check out the Witcher one first.
I haven't seen
So
any of these.
I haven't seen this either. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if I'm gonna check out this third season, but
Same.
maybe this trailer. I mean, you know what? I might, just because it's Henry's last go, but this trailer is gonna lean me one way or the other. So we'll see.
Let's check it out.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Winds howling.
Now, for the first time, I understand real fear.
It's the Wild Hunt.
Oh, fuck off, Netflix, with this Volume 1, Volume 2 crap.
Oh, I guess that's it.
Damn you, Netflix. Damn you. I mean, again, Henry looks like the best part of the show, and he's gonna be leaving after this, so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
My issue with that show is just how disrespectful they are to the fans. So, fuck them. The only person on that show that actually gave a damn about them seemed to be Henry Cavill, and they did him kind of dirty. So I don't know if I want to check it out or not. If I check it out, it's purely because it's Henry. That's it. That's be the only reason. You know, like.
Yeah. All right. We got another trailer. This is for Black Mirror Season 6. It's the official teaser. Have you watched any of Black Mirror before?
I have not, but I kind of know what it is a little bit. So
yeah, every episode is different, and every season
yeah.
is different. There's no like, yeah. So it's not like one of those things where you have to watch every season. So it's all different. But let's check this out. In 3, 2, 1, go.
I don't want to set the world
on fire.
You've been wondering. Look at Aaron Paul.
All you copywriters can fight over the music rights.
Zazzy Beats. You've been waiting.
So how long have they been waiting? Waiting for a new season of this.
From the last season of this, it's been years, man. Like,
Really?
I want to say, damn.
Fuck.
You know none of this is right.
I love this.
Yeah, what's up?
I love it.
Oh, do you?
It's all anyone can talk about.
Crazy. So season 5 was in 2019.
What the fuck is this?
Jesus Christ.
So
Really?
it's been years. So we really have been waiting and wondering. Yeah, so the last season was pre-pandemic, so that just tells you how long ago it's been since
That's
we've had Black Mirror.
crazy. That's a long time.
Yep, it really has been. It really has been. And it's honestly like this show's great, man. Like a lot of these episodes are awesome. So it makes me wonder why they waited so long or why they took a break in between or whatever. I mean, maybe part of it probably has to be the pandemic, but I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what else, you know. It's like, damn. But yeah. Crazy. Super crazy. Looks good though. They always bring like a killer cast too, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. So that's those trailers. Next up, we have the poster and the trailer for Twisted Metal. Now, this is another one of those games that I'm sure in our earlier conversation talking about what games we would bring back in the remake, I'm sure people would love to bring back Twisted Metal.
Mm-hmm.
I was never really somebody who played these games. I played them like from
Yeah.
time to time, but like I never owned them. Like I always knew somebody who had the game. You know what I
My
mean?
cousin Adam.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Like I always knew, I always knew people that had the game, so I played it like sometimes, but it was never like one of those games I'm like, oh man, Twisted Metal. So, yeah. But anyway, here's the poster. This is the Peacock original Twisted Metal series. You have Anthony Mackie in his car, and then you got the Sweet Tooth truck in the back. Very colorful with the logo, but that's because of the rockets, I guess. There, but still very colorful. So that's the poster. And then let's check out this teaser. I don't know what the hell we're about to see, but let's see what they have, right? I mean, I don't know.
Let me
Let's
get
take
it
a
open
look.
here. Let me get it open.
All right.
I'm really slow. I'm really slow. There we go. I'm ready. Fire when ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
Teaser starts now.
Thanks,
What?
Anthony Mackie. Thanks for telling us.
Hey, it's better than the trailer before trailer, at least.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh man.
Road Mix. What is this, Mad Max?
Ladies and gentlemen, start your engines.
More damn music. Shooting. Be serious. Twisted Metal. Yes, we know. Vegas. Oh man. Oh shit, Sweet Tooth.
Played by Samoa Joe, by the way.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah, Samoa Joe in Sweet Tooth outfit.
That was definitely a teaser because half of this isn't even like
no
anything. So they somehow managed to make a 1-minute video less than a minute because like I swear to you, like
it's true. It's true.
Half of this video is nothing. Like it's like Anthony, like what is it, like 5 seconds? The first 5 seconds is Anthony Mackie saying the trailer, or not saying, but the trailer starts now, and then you got like him getting in the car, and then it's like picking a CD and driving on the road and saying, start your engines or whatever, and then he just drives down the road.
None of that's gonna be in the show. Like it's just him. Like like so weird.
It's like this is yeah. It's like nothing. It's like the teaser part is the sweet tooth thing. That's pretty
Mm-hmm.
much it, and that's like only what like 5 seconds long. The whole thing. Like anyway, that's definitely a teaser. Like without a doubt, that is 100% a teaser. So I can't really speak on anything other than Sweet Tooth looks cool, but you know, that's it. Okay. The next thing we got here is that, or I should say, the last thing we got here as well is that Vampire Survivors is getting a animated television series from Story Kitchen. The viral gaming sensation Vampire Survivors is in the works for television. Story Kitchen is partnering with the game's developer, Poncle founder Luca Galante, to adapt the comedic gothic horror video game into a premium animated television series. The game is set in 2021 in rural Italy. There lived an evil person named Visconte Giaculo, whose many evil magics created a bad world filled with famine and suffering. It's now up to the members of the Belpass family to end his reign of terror and return good food to the table, reads the official description. So I actually have not played this game. I think I actually own it, but
I played it.
I don't think I played it. So Josh would be able to speak on this more than I would. So what do you think of this game getting the animated series?
I mean, they can do whatever they want with it because like there's almost like there's a story, sure, but like, is there though? Like, honestly, I didn't even know that. I played the game I've played the game a lot. I didn't even know that was like the description of it until you read it right here. You know, like I had no idea. Like, I just run around and kill shit in the game. That's what you do. Like, yeah. I mean, I guess you can change it and do whatever you want with it. I guess. Yeah. Why not? Why not? You can pretty much, with almost a complete blank slate. You know. Why not? Kind of cool, I guess. I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know. It seems like this is a weird thing to be like, let's make a show out of this, you know?
I mean, I just know the game was like really popular for a while there.
Yeah, it's fun to
And
play.
like, there was so many people playing it, and like, it like inspired like a bunch of
Its own
things that are
genre,
happening
pretty much.
now, and yeah, it's like wow, that's crazy.
It's like, yeah, it's kind of made its own, the Vampire Survivors genre. There's tons of spin-offs, tons of knockoffs, and all that. But the thing is like the game has no story, so you just, I mean, they say it has a story, but like, you don't fucking follow any of that shit while you're playing it. It's mindless, you know? Like, it's mindless fun. It's like, it's the type of game you play when you're doing something on the side, too. Like, maybe I'm catching up on a TV show, but I also want my hands to be doing something and kind of playing and enjoying a thing. Like, it's a multitasking game, you know? It's cool, I guess. I don't know, how they're gonna do it, what they're gonna do it, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, just based off of that, it sounds like fucking Castlevania to me, but
right,
we shall see, huh?
That's why I think they need to change that up. Like, if they give it a story, it needs to be like, you can kind of have the same setting maybe, but you need to have a different story for sure. Okay.
All right, well, that's our TV news. So,
All
are
right.
you ready?
We can move on to the movie news. What do we got? Let me switch
Yeah,
over the
movie
text
news.
here.
We got quite a few things here actually.
Okay.
So when you're ready, we can get on to it.
I'm ready. We're swapped now.
All right. So the first thing we got in the gaming news is, or the gaming news, the movie news is The Flash official trailer number 2. I reacted to this. If you want to check that out, guys, I definitely saw this when it came out, so we'll go check that out.
I haven't seen this yet.
So let's check it out. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
I lost my parents. That pain made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past. As if fighting crime would bring my parents back.
Look at all the bat
You
suits.
actually did it.
So many bat suits.
I can't imagine what you've been through.
I love you, Monkey.
You lost both parents in one day.
Barry!
I went back in time to save my parents. But instead, I completely broke the universe.
If you went back and changed the past,
This world must die.
General Zod.
the future.
Do you know what this symbol stands for? Means hope, right? I will help you fight Zod.
You want to get nuts?
Let's get nuts.
Let's get nuts.
I have to undo what I did.
These scars we have make us who we are. I'm not meant to go back and fix them. Don't let your tragedy define you.
No matter what we do, we're not going to be able to fix this. No! Nobody dies!
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?
Bro, that shot right there with the that's so cool, man. That's
Yeah.
such a good shot at the end there. That's so good.
It's a cool shot.
So what do you think? Because I've already seen this, but thoughts, Josh?
It's complicated because of the whole Ezra Miller thing. You know, like I want to, I want to like it. I want to enjoy it. I want to go see it. But every time I'm gonna see Ezra Miller on the screen, I'm just gonna remember like that dude did a lot of foul shit, and they stuck with him. Meanwhile, you know, Henry Cavill's not gonna be Superman anymore. You know, and they kind of let him on that whole deal. Like the whole, it's the way to feel on this is very layered and very complicated. You know, like man, they got my Batman back with Keaton, and he's in this trailer a lot. And they
He's
definitely
gonna be a big part of the movie.
yeah. He's in this trailer a lot because they're gonna be. I don't know how much your average movie-going fan is gonna know about the Ezra Miller stuff, but like the Keaton stuff is in there for like I feel like people like you and me and Majin, who I don't think was trying to watch the trailer at all. Like he has his feelings on it, but it's like they're using that to grab like the hardcore. I don't think your average movie-going fan even knows or really cares about the Ezra Miller stuff, to be honest with you. And we say that about when the MCU does a bad movie, right? Like to us, it's a bad movie for these reasons. If it's your average moviegoer, I don't give a fuck about that. Like they go and watch, you know, to go watch all the epic stuff. Like we're kind of like a minority in it. And, like we're the ones that kind of notice all the
Sure, yeah.
all that hardcore shit. We're like, how can this do this? You know, and it's because like for every one of us, there's like 100 regular people that just go to watch a movie. They don't go to, you know, they don't care about necessarily like all the not political stuff, but like all that hardcore canon stuff that bothers us because we're such fans of a genre, right? Such fans of that Marvel character or that Star Wars character or that DC character, right? So I don't know. I think this movie's gonna make a shitload of money, and it's because it's really banking on that nostalgia stuff. And I think it was getting good. People had seen it already at CinemaCon or something, right? And it was getting good, glowing praise out of there. But I don't know. The way to feel on it is very complicated and very layered, I feel like. So, yeah. I want to see it because it's got Keaton in it. But I also don't want to support Ezra Miller or the execs that kind of got rid of. They're like, we're rebooting this thing, and they get rid of Henry Cavill, but they keep Ezra Miller. Like, I just don't get it. Like that whole deal like blows my brains out. And it's like, well, he's the Flash. Well, I mean, he's also a piece of shit. They're also a piece of shit. So like, that's how I kind of feel on it, really. Ultimately,
I gotcha. Understandable.
it's complicated. Good lord. All right, DT, what's next?
Next up, we have a trailer for Transformers: Rise of the Beasts.
Now, this I did react
Which
to.
I also reacted to this as well, I believe. Yeah, I did. So go check that out too if you want to see my initial thoughts on it. But we can check this out right now. In 3, 2, 1, let's let her rip.
Just load up this whole episode with copyrights. It'll be fine. They can fight each other.
Nice, man.
Our kind has stayed hidden on Earth. But darkness has found us again.
The darkness.
Prime. This is about the fate of all living things. Unicron is coming.
Unicron.
I didn't even know Unicron was gonna be in this movie. So
I didn't either. I said it in my reaction. I was like, wait, Unicron's
awesome.
in this?
That makes me so much more hype.
Back up. Oh, I thought we were boys.
You want it? Come and get it.
You brought a human here?
Human.
I ain't even seen nothing. I'm not even seeing anything right now.
Think you holding late and you haven't met the aim.
This is not our war.
Optimus, we must trust each other to protect the home we all share.
How big can this guy be?
Pretty
He's
fucking
huge.
large. Unicron's massive.
In the end, everything you cared for will be consumed.
Maybe there's another way to save our home.
You've never faced anything like this. Let them come.
This one shot right here is great.
Pretty cool.
Yo, Noah, take the wheel.
Honestly, looks good. Gonna be checking that out. I'm all about it. Also, Unicron's in this, and that's pretty fucking dope. So.
It is, yeah, and he's being voiced by Coleman Domingo in this movie too, which I think is cool because Coleman's got a good voice.
Mm-hmm. And I think it is Majan. You said that. I think it is. Because I heard it too, at the very least. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is her. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I was
Michelle
looking
Yeoh.
it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. So yeah, trailer looks good. Definitely looking forward to checking that movie out. Um, yeah. In other Transformers news, we have another Transformers movie, but this is an animated one, and they announced the voice cast over at CinemaCon. So Paramount Animation, Hasbro, and E1 are teaming up on the upcoming animated Transformers movie, now titled Transformers One, directed by Josh Cooley and executive produced by Steven Spielberg. The origin story's key voice cast includes Chris Hemsworth, Brian Tyree Henry, Scarlett Johansson, Keegan Michael Key, John Hamm, Lawrence Fishburne, and is scheduled to release for July 19th, 2024. It will tell the story of how a young Optimus Prime and Megatron went from being brothers in arms to sworn enemies. Johansson is voicing Elita, and Key will be Bumblebee. Ham is Sentinel Prime, and Fishburne plays Alpha Trion. Obviously, the two that I didn't name, Chris Hemsworth and Brian Terry Henry, are being Optimus and Megatron. Yeah, that'll be interesting. I don't. I wonder how a Chris Hemsworth Optimus Prime is gonna sound, because yeah, I don't. I wonder. Yeah, I just wonder how they're gonna do that.
Yeah. I was kind of curious
But
too.
the premise of the movie sounds interesting though, like, or
Yeah.
kind of like a origin story of things, So, yeah. But yeah, I'm just curious about Hemsworth, because I'm just so used to Peter Cullen doing
Yeah.
Optimus, and I'm like, we'll see how this goes, but I'm intrigued at the very least. Anyway, so that's that. We have some Dune stuff.
Dune.
So we have some exclusive looks over from Vanity Fair, some images here. Dune Part 2, an exclusive first look at the saga's epic conclusion. So we got some first look pictures here of Timothy Chalamet's Paul Atreides with blue eyes from the spice he has absorbed while living in the deserts of Arrakis.
Yeah.
And then we have a picture of Florence Pugh as Princess Irulan, wearing the casual garb of a royal. And then we have another picture of Zendaya as Chani, a warrior with the Fremen who inhabit the desolate world of Arrakis. And below that, we have one of your boy Josh Brolin's Gurney Halleck, mentor to Paul and protector of House Atreides, blood-soaked from battle.
When we
Dune
last
Part 2.
saw him, he was running in the battle in that first movie, and he disappeared. We didn't let. Did he make it? Did he not? Looks like he's seen some shit. We're gonna find out in Part 2.
Yeah. And then we have another one below of Austin Butler's Fade Routha, the remorseless
Fade.
killer who stands to inherit control of House Harkonnen.
Harkonnens.
And then below that, we have Baron Harkonnen, played by Stellan Skarsgård, and taking his little bath time, smoking.
I'm looking like a Sith Lord, just chilling in his bath. Big fat Sith Lord.
looking like a fat Palpatine clone over there.
Mhm.
And then we have Dave Bautista's Glossu Raban, a blunt instrument of a man wielding another. And then we have Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, the mother and protector of Paul Atreides, marked with the lines of prophecy.
As a Bluetooth.
Dude, after like recently watching some of the Mission Impossible movies, she's great in those movies, man. And below this image of her here, we have another one of Leia Sedu's Lady Margot, member of the Bene Gesserit religious order. She helps oversee the manipulation of the galaxy. Yeah, she was Majin as well in that movie, Dr. Sleep, yeah. And then we have Javier Bardem's Stilgar, leader of the Fremen, determined to protect his homeworld. And below that, director Denis Villeneuve. Photographed during the making of Dune Part 2. So there you go. Josh, what do you think of these images for Dune Part 2?
I think they're cool. I'm not saying a lot because I know everything that's going on in every single photo. No, I really don't know everything that's going on in every single photo, but I obviously am a big fan of Dune, read the books. And I just don't want to give anything away. Like I am really looking forward. We're gonna get a trailer drop tomorrow, by the way. So I'm gonna react to that. DT, are you gonna react to that new trailer that's gonna drop tomorrow? Because it is gonna drop tomorrow. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I probably will.
So I'm gonna be hyped as fuck tomorrow. I can't wait to watch your reaction. I'm gonna record my reaction. It's gonna be. I can't wait for Dune Part 2. I love Dune. Shai Hulud, Sleepers Awaken, yada yada. Whole deal.
Sleepers Awaken, Shai Hulud. The Spice is Life.
Mm-hmm. Fear's the Mind Killer.
Yeah,
all that stuff.
Anyway, cool. And then today, they released a poster.
Yeah, we got a poster. I'm gonna open that up
because they're like, there's a teaser coming out tomorrow or whatever. So here's the poster. Yeah.
Very orange.
Makes sense.
Been hanging out in deserts a lot lately, DT. Seems like we're going back.
Have been.
Yeah, that's exciting. I can't wait for tomorrow.
Yeah. Do we know if it's dropping early? It probably is dropping early tomorrow.
Well, it's gonna drop 12 p.m. my time. They have a premiere on YouTube. And it's scheduled for 11:59 a.m. tomorrow. So by the time it'll be 12 p.m. when it comes out. Yeah.
Yeah. So 12 p.m. Eastern. That means that's 9 a.m.
And they have a 44-second teaser that I don't want to watch because the trailer's gonna drop tomorrow. Why do I need a teaser of a trailer that's dropping tomorrow? I don't have to see that.
Tomorrow, yeah.
That's why I didn't throw that in here.
Yeah. I gotcha. All right. So cool. We have Sigourney Weaver talking about the Alien universe. She talks about how she's done playing the character of Ellen Ripley in the Alien universe. She says that ship has sailed. She's put in a lot of time in space, and she says she's done playing Ellen Ripley in the Alien franchise. She's ruled out a potential return to space as a new movie is in the works at Hulu and a TV series adaptation at FX Networks. She says there are all kinds of younger actors taking this kind of role. There was an Alien film that I really wanted to do with Neil Blomkamp, and we didn't get to do that. But that ship has sailed. She said in an interview with Total Film, "I'm very happy doing what I'm doing. I put in my time in space." So yeah, that's Sigourney being like, I put my dues in for this franchise. I've been in space for many years, but now it's time to pass it off to the new generation. I'm good to go. Which reminds me, is very reminiscent of the comments that what's his name, Bruce Campbell had with Ash talking about the Evil Dead franchise. He basically said the same thing. He's like, I'm done playing Ash. It's time to hand it off to the younger generation. Like I'm too old for this shit, man. Like let them do that, man. That's their thing now. I put in my time. I did my dues as this character. So it kind of reminded me of that. So hey man, you gotta know when to quit, right? And these two both know when that time is for them. So
but listen to me, DT. What about one last ride in space in Star Wars? Sigourney in Star Wars would be pretty dope.
That would be cool. I would love for her to be
Right?
in Star Wars. She'd be great, dude. Like,
Right? That's all I'm saying.
get her
She's like,
in the
I
right
put in my
role. I
time
mean,
in space, but I'm like, there's one more franchise in space, Sigourney.
yeah.
Like, come on
I feel
over.
that way about a lot of people. I'm like, every time I see somebody in like something, like every time there's sometimes I watch movies or I watch shows or something that I'm like, man, this person isn't in Star Wars yet. I would love to have her in. I would love to have
Put her
this
in the High
person in Star
Republic?
Wars at some
Yes,
point.
Majin. That would be fucking dope, actually.
I mean, put her in anything. There's so many shows and movies in development right now, or like you could put her in like the next season of Mando or Ahsoka or whatever. Like it's put her in the Acolyte, whatever, man. Like this nowadays, anybody can be in Star Wars, man, as long as they want to be in it, and the people who are making Star Wars are like, hey, you want to be in Star Wars? But yeah, she would be cool to have in the universe for sure. Um. Anyway. Moving
God.
on, we have some Gladiator sequel news. We have a couple of casting choices here. And then to cap off our movie news for the week, we have a trailer. So the news that we have is that the Gladiator sequel has added Stranger Things breakout star Joseph Quinn, as well as Connie Nielsen will be returning. She was in the first movie, so she's returning to the second one. And Pedro Pascal is also in talks to join Ridley Scott's Gladiator sequel. So this movie has a lot of names getting attached to it. We already have Denzel, Barry Keoghan, Paul Mescal, but now we have Connie Nielsen returning, Joseph Quinn joining, and Pedro Pascal joining. So this cast is honestly, it's building up, man. It's building up.
Right? Yeah.
It's shaping up pretty nicely. I hope it lives up to the first one because the first movie is awesome. So hopefully they can, do this right and pull it off, in a good way because so far I'm enjoying I'm liking these castings that they're doing.
Yeah.
So I think it's like I said, shaping up nicely. I hope the movies will be good because I'm liking what we're hearing. Which the release date is supposed to be November 22nd of next year. So next November, not this November. But yeah, seems pretty cool, and I will definitely be keeping an eye on this. Hopefully, we get a title at some point sooner rather than later because I want to. I always. This is gonna be a minor thing, but like I always hate when we have to call things the sequel to this thing. Like,
Yeah.
just give it a goddamn name. Give it a goddamn name, man. Why you making me call it the sequel to whatever? Like,
You're gonna...
do you remember? Do you remember there was a time that they hadn't given Tears of the Kingdom a title yet? And we had to keep calling it the sequel to the fucking Legend of Zelda: Breath of the. I'm like, fuck off, bro. Give it a damn title. But anyway, that's just my little mini rant on
coming next
calling
year.
things a sequel.
Gladiator 2, The Gladdening is gonna be
Gladiator 2, Electric Boogaloo. Yeah, we still don't. That reminds me, we still don't have a sequel or title for the Ghostbusters Afterlife movie either. Which isn't that like one like that? I thought that was supposed to be coming out this year, but I guess it's coming out next year at this point because we haven't seen a trailer. We don't have a title. Like. Yeah, I don't know, man. So we shall see. I mean, it says the release date is supposed to be in December, but I don't know, dude. I don't know about that. Yeah, the working title is Firehouse, but we'll see. Anyway, are you ready, sir, to end our
I am.
movie news with the final teaser here or trailer?
Let's hit it.
All right, this is for Gran Turismo.
Any predictions in this trailer?
There's gonna be a lot of racing.
Oh man, yeah, definitely gonna have cars in it.
Yeah, definitely gonna have cars. Definitely gonna be David Harbour. Definitely gonna see Orlando Bloom. I don't know other than that.
I'm
So let's
actually
check it
really
out.
curious to check this out. I want to see what they've done here. If they actually have a movie here, let's watch it.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
Who do you think the best driver is?
Probably Rory.
I would dust him in a lap.
Jan.
All you do is play video games with some crazy dreams of racing cars.
Dad, you're the one that told us to always do something we love.
You know what racing cars cost? Look around. It's not our world, son.
What is this?
It's a contest. The best Gran Turismo players in the world get a chance to compete in professional racing.
Dude, this is real.
This is real.
I'm sorry. You really think you're going to take a kid who plays video games in their bedroom, you're going to strap him to a 200-mile-an-hour rocket? It'll tear him to pieces.
You can hate me now.
It's not going to work. The guys who race are elite athletes.
Michelin.
I won't stop now.
Your kids are scrawny little gamer kids.
Well, that's where you come in.
Come on, let's go.
Oh boy, we're turning gamers into race car drivers.
Moving your legs. You puked on my lawn.
There's no turning back now.
When you're in a race, the cockpit is going to be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The G-forces will be twice what an astronaut experiences upon liftoff. I can't see anything. Hey, you get extra points for that in the game? Jesus Christ.
This whole thing is insane, but out of the couch surfing nerds that you sent me, he is the best one. You made it.
Yes! Welcome to Team Nissan.
What's next?
It's major leagues. The other drivers are going to hate you.
Whoopsie.
Dude, what is your problem?
It's part of the game. It's called racing.
If you miss a line in the game, you reset. You miss it on the track, you could die.
Flippy flip flip in the air. Fire car.
I know this track. I've raced it 1,000 times. That's what I'm talking about.
All right, so August. Thoughts, Josh?
I think it's a little cheesy. It's a little cheesy, but I don't think it's bad. Looks interesting. I mean, for a game that has like literally no story, I'm actually surprised at how much they mentioned the game in this. Like, I didn't realize that's what they were gonna do with this film.
Yeah,
I
they
didn't
literally
know.
like showed like the cases of the games and stuff.
Yeah,
With dude playing them. It's like,
I had
okay.
no idea that's what this movie is. Yeah, kind of neat, I guess. It's not like high on my radar, but I don't think it looks terrible or anything. There's a lot of dumb movies out there I watch, so
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I
do
don't
you think
know.
on it?
I think it could. I think it has potential to be like a fun movie.
Yeah, it ain't
I
gonna
don't
win
know
no
how much
awards.
more. Oh no.
Majin, that's like
But,
every movie nowadays, dude. Like every movie's a 90-minute commercial.
Yeah, so it has potential to be fun, but I don't know. Like I think it'll be fun to have like Orlando Bloom in a movie like this, and and David Harbour looks like he's having fun, like fucking just clowning on the on the gamer dudes and all that. So we'll, you know, which is funny because I know he plays a lot of like Warcraft himself, or I think, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's a Warcraft player.
So he's
Or
a
he
gamer
has
dude as
been.
well. Yeah. Yeah, like he either he used to play it or he still does or something like that. But anyway, he used to play Warcraft at the very least. So this is funny. Like hearing him say these things as this character. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not like super big into like racing or cars or anything like that, but it could be, like I said, it still could be a decent time. And uh it reminds me of this other like car movie that I saw a couple years back, Ford versus Ferrari. If you haven't seen that, man, that's a
It's on
great
my
movie.
list. I need to watch it.
That's a hell of a movie. Definitely check that one out. That's a
And
fun one. Yeah.
the Gran Turismo Academy is a real thing. This is a real thing that they do, by the way. They do get players and take them to like reality competitions and give them a chance to do actual racing in a race car. So it is a
cool.
real thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, it did say based on a true story, right? So that makes sense.
Yeah, I was just curious to like, how true is this? Did they really just grab people? But yeah, they do.
Nice. Well, there you go.
It says any player that proves his or her skill in the virtual world has a chance to go wheel to wheel in a real race car on a real circuit to achieve the grand prize, a spot on the racing team. All the training and licensing needed to race in an international event. So yeah, I mean, that's cool. I didn't know they were basing it on that. I actually didn't even know this was a thing until this trailer. So it's kind of cool.
There you go. The more you learn, everybody. But with that, that'll do it for our gaming, or fuck, I keep saying gaming news. With our news, just the news.
DT dying to talk about Jedi Survivor.
Gaming, TV, and movie. Yes, yeah. Which, by the way, I'm ready to keep rolling. If you are, man, I'm ready.
All right, let's go. Let's keep going. Let me go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and put up a spoiler tag right away, like because.
Do it, yeah, because we're definitely gonna talk spoilers about this.
All right,
so, yeah.
So this is your warning if you're listening on audio. We swapped over to Star Wars Jedi spoiler talk. So this is your chance to leave. You got a couple minutes here. You can leave now. Come back after you've beaten the game and listen to our thoughts on it. So from this moment on,
straight into it.
3, 2, 1. We can spoil everything now. Okay, DT. We haven't done a podcast that is just a game in a hot minute, right?
We really haven't. I want to say the last one we did was what, like Ghost of Tsushima, maybe? Like,
I think.
Or, like that was like 3 years ago, bro. Like when,
let me go look. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna go down our list. I'm looking.
Which is funny because I really wanted to do one of these for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Like I really wanted to like talk about Cyberpunk after we played it, but it never happened. But yeah, I want to say the last one we did of these was Ghost of Tsushima, because it's been a while, man, since we played or since we played a game, and then just talked about it.
Rome, Deadwood, Batman. Sorry, I'm just going down the list. I'm trying to find. I think you're right. I think it is Ghost. I think that is it.
Yeah, I mean, it's been 3 years, dude. Like how have we not done one since then?
I guess we haven't well, one thing is it's hard to plan out like we're both gonna play a game, right? Like Star Wars, it's easy because we're obviously gonna get on that train, but money gets tight and then it becomes like, can I afford this now? Am I gonna have time to play it now? Oh my god, where is the Ghost of Tsushima episode?
I mean, it's again
episode 47. It was episode 47. Oh my god, it's been over 100 episodes since we've done like a purely gaming one. Wow, that's insane. So here we are, 100 episodes later. We're finally getting back to it, DT. It's been so long, I forgot how we did these. To be honest with you.
I mean, I don't remember how we did this either, but so we're just gonna have to do it.
Let's just talk about the things we love. So, do you like the game?
I do like the game. Yeah. I mean, shit. I played it. We fucking beat it before basically we spent all weekend playing the damn game. So
it's true.
I think we both liked it, right? unless you just hate playing it at that point.
2 10-hour streams. One was 10 and a half and one was 10 hours. 10. That's so nuts for me, dude. So yes, I also like the game. I think it was worth. It's complicated, right? Because I talked about this yesterday on the stream, where you have to almost separate the game stuff from all the performance stuff that happened. So DT, did you have any performance issues while you were playing the game at all? Like, were you having frame drops or anything like that?
I did. So when I first played the game the first 2 days, I had like really no issues with the game. Like it was running pretty fine. But then like the last 2 days, I had like it was just so bad, dude. Like I was stuttering. The frames were just like in just like awful. Like I had the game crash on me twice.
Yeah.
During the entirety of the game, since I played the game, and one time was really annoying because I hadn't saved, and so it took me like way back, and I was like, "Son of a like this is like stupid game freezing and like making me go back and do all this shit I already did." Like I'm like fucking waste of time, you know.
Yeah.
So that was kind of annoying. Dealing with the performance issues and just how poorly optimized it was. So that was kind of annoying. So I, first few days was fine. Last couple days I played it, it was just bad. So I really have to like really got to mention that because I know a lot of other people have been just having but even worse problems than that, which is insane.
Yeah, So here's my deal with my streaming. And since we're gonna start with negatives, which is what we're talking about right now, is the negatives, at least on the performance end, is like I didn't get to start streaming the game. I was already in the game when I finally was able to stream it. So the beginning of the game is not on stream, which honestly it was heartbreaking. I'll be honest, I really wanted to stream the game. I really wanted to share my experience as I played with it with the stream. Even if I don't have a lot of viewers, I still like it to be there in case somebody ever wants to go in back and watch it. So the entire first part of it, some of those first boss fights that were struggles for me, all that stuff is not on VODs because I wasn't streaming. So because the performance is just so rough, and with OBS running, it also runs really rough. Like Majin was there, me trying to get this stream going. I just couldn't do it. I had to make some changes. The next day, somebody had put up some changes that they made to make their game run better. I copied what they did, and it made the game run well enough that I was able to stream it. And even then, it was still a little rough. And the game has frozen on me multiple times, and I've had to restart the game. I've had to restart the game like every couple hours so it'll run well again. And that's with all the streaming stuff. It is terrible a feeling. And this is a $70 game. And like I was saying earlier with Redfall stuff, I'm going to say it with Star Wars too, because it's even though I love Star Wars, even though I love this game, if you're going to charge a premium price, you're going to get a premium critique here. That shit has to stop. Like, if you're gonna drop a $70 game and it's gonna have performance issues like that, it does not deserve to be a $70 game. All right, because that is insane. There are people that struggle out there with money and stuff to be able to play, a game. That's just a little bit extra. You can't do that. You can't be doing that. If it was me, I don't know why they didn't delay a game. Delay the game a month, it's not just EA, it's on Respawn too. Exactly.
I mean, they had already delayed it too,
Yeah, they delayed it previously. They should have delayed it again to fix the performance issues. The game is still selling like gangbusters. It's making all the money. It got praise from all the reviewers, but the performance is unacceptable. It really is unacceptable. And that's why I'm almost reviewing it in two different ways. The performance is absolutely ridiculous. I have a good machine. DT has a good machine. Our friend Jake has a good machine. Everybody I know You know, we're all in the gaming circle. Like, it runs not well on PlayStations, even like or in Xboxes or whatever else it went on. You know, like now I don't know what the deal was for pushing it out and not giving it a delay to fix those performance issues, but it's gonna mar what is a fantastic game by the fact that it launched with really bad performance issues, like, and optimization issues. It is. And in a world where they want to charge $70 for a video game, that is just unacceptable. You know, like, it really, really is. And I might be sounding a little harsh now, but it's ridiculous. Like, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry with hundreds of millions of dollars invested in things, right? How could you ever allow something like this to happen? You know, like, this better not become the norm. It has become the norm of late. But it needs to not, especially if you're going to charge $70. You know, that $70 price point is going to be a sticking point for me. Like, it's not broken, it's not unplayable, but it is a fucking mess, and it can become unplayable. It's unplayable for some people. You know, like I have to restart the game every 2 hours. That's not normal.
I mean, you know? I am glad that even with the issues that I had, which was like, I think minor compared to what everybody else has been dealing with. Like I said, I got the game crash on me twice, so that's bullshit. And like, just certain areas where like the frames and the stuttering gets so bad, it's like kind of that part when it gets like that, it gets kind of unplayable because you can't really, you know, you get attacked by enemies and you get lumped up, like you can't do nothing about it. But I've Majin was telling me about somebody who was playing the game and like they like their file got basically corrupted and they were like they had made so much progress in the game, and at that point it's like, well, if your file gets corrupted and you're close to beating the game, like do you start all over again, or do you like be like, fuck this shit, I'm done with this game until they fix it, or like I'm done with this game forever, like that kind of stuff is like, that is, I'm glad I didn't have anything like that, because that would have been fucking real upset if that happened to me, man.
I think I had a couple of game-breaking bugs where I had to restart. Like, I know some people were getting stuck in the chamber where you rescue Z. Like, if you died and didn't rest before that, you could get stuck in that room and not be able to get out. It was impossible to get out of that room. They fixed that in the patch, thankfully. I bugged... Was it 2 puzzles? I bugged 1 puzzle. DT, have you done all of the Jedi puzzle room things? The High Republic puzzle rooms?
The chambers? No.
Yeah. Okay, so there's one.
I've done a few. I've done like a decent amount of them, but I haven't done all of them though.
I don't know if I want to spoil this for you or not, but there's one with like 2 boxes in an elevator. Have you done that one? There's like an elevator. There's one with like 2 big boxes, like big square boxes.
Yes,
in an elevator.
The box where you have to. Yeah. I literally did that one yesterday. Yeah.
So I bugged that one out. You want to know how I bugged it out? You're supposed to put the box on the elevator, right? Yeah. So you can lift up and jump. Okay. The box went under the elevator and got stuck to the bottom of the elevator and would go up with the elevator. You could not complete. What? You couldn't do the puzzle, and it wouldn't come back down.
You can't do it because you have to put the box on top of the elevator.
Yeah, it got literally stuck. It was the opposite of how it was supposed to be. I think Yorko was in the chat. He saw it. I had to reset the puzzle. I had to reload. Like, the puzzle became uncompletable because it was stuck. And I was like, oh no, I need to reset this before something saves and I'm stuck, unable to do this puzzle, right? Because it bugged out. Like, that one was nuts. But I didn't really have a whole lot of bugs.
There's always some visual stuff.
Yeah, what do you have?
You know when you find the holo tactics guys out in the open, they're being attacked by the creature. So the first time I found them, I couldn't like kill the creature that was fighting them. So I had to like, no, I could kill it, but then I did, and then like I walked up to them, and the little guy was like halfway, his like shoulders and below was under the ground, and his shoulders above was above the ground. So like it was like bugged out for me, and I couldn't talk to him. And then when I killed the creature, they didn't like say nothing. So I was like, oh fuck, this is bugged out. I gotta go fucking do it again. And that was like the first time I noticed that there was something that was kind of like game fucky, like the game being all fucky, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, the hollow tactics people and the creature, yeah, I was like, man, this is what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
stuff like
you know,
that, man.
but I didn't have a lot of bugs like that. I crashed one time and I had a couple hard freezes where I had to close the game, force it close. And then obviously all the frame rate issues. That's all the bad. That's all the bad. And DT, is there any more of the bad you want to throw on while the bad is baddening right now that you can think of?
And bad amount. I'm trying to think. Most of my issues, yeah, were just like frame rate, too much stuttering, like
Yeah,
um
that's a universal issue.
the
It's like everybody.
crashes that I had, like the game just like freezing up and just being like, we're gonna crash because whatever. So that's really kind of the like performance issue wise, like those are like the big ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
I
terms of
know
like the game itself, there's other things I have to say.
we front loaded the negative parts, so let's go ahead and swap over to like the game stuff. How about that?
Yes.
All right, DT, you start us off here. Do you want to talk about the negatives or the
So,
positives first, or do you just want to kind of go through it?
I think we'll go positive because we did a lot of negative.
Okay, let's hit
with
some
the performance
positives.
stuff. So a lot of the things I did like about this game, I think the first and foremost, the thing that we should talk about is the customization, because
Yes,
I think the customization in this game is awesome. That is it's a huge upgrade from the first game.
it sure is.
The first game, you can't even change Cal's hair or like really, anything other than like what the color of the clothes and the poncho, and like I mean the lightsaber you could change. And I mean I think the one thing that you can't change um in this game that you could in the first game was the mantis, right?
Yeah,
Because I
you
know
could
the
change
first
the
game
mantis in the first game.
the first game had mantis like customization options, and the second one didn't, which is kind of weird, but I don't mind it as much because they really gave us a lot of other customization stuff, like BD1, and then there's a blaster in this game you can customize, and there's a lightsaber, and Cal has hairstyles and facial hairstyles, and not
A
only
lot
not
of
only
them.
ponchos but shirts and pants and like jackets and stuff. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So I actually took some screenshots
I did as
of
well.
my character's customization, and I had several different looks throughout the game. And I'm gonna send you some pictures of some of the looks that I had from my Cal. Um,
Yeah,
so obviously I had like there's gonna be stuff in here that I didn't screenshot because it's just like there was early game stuff. I tried out the man bun samurai do haircut for a little bit with the long
yeah.
beard, but I mean I only tried out. I wasn't like serious about like keeping that as my look for the game,
Mm-hmm.
But I had multiple looks throughout the game as you, because I mean, it's only natural as you unlock stuff, you kind of switch it around and
Right
try out
out. Yeah,
different
I
things.
did the same.
But I'm gonna send you some images here. This is how my Cal looked throughout different parts of the game. So I got this one, and I'm gonna send them to you kind of like an order of kind of like how I had
Okay.
throughout the game. So Uh, so the last one is how I ended the game, and then the first one is kind of the one I had like early game. Once I was like, all right, this is kind of how my Cal's gonna look, and then from there on, I just kind of changed the outfit. So here we go. So there's different looks right there. Then obviously you can throw yours up too.
Yeah.
So hairstyle wise, I went with like the longer look, and then I just kept them with like the not super short beard, but like I mean not the stubble, but like the short beard, So I had long hair Cal throughout my journey. That's how I had them.
All right. I'm just gonna go through. Sorry, I'm just getting them loaded up.
Yep.
So this is the first one.
So that was like the one that I was like, all right. Once I unlocked some stuff, once I decided this is the hairstyle and facial hair I'm gonna stick with, I was like, this is the Cal, this is the look right here. So I kind of like the Dash Rendar-esque kind of jacket,
Yeah.
and then the pants. I was like, yeah, I kind of like this. This works. So I was rocking this like once I unlocked it. I think on Kobo, and then like because I think you buy that from the shop off of Doma,
I think so.
and then like once we got to the when you go to Jeddah for the first time, that's how I went with that first look.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then
Next is this, right?
and then this is the Jedi like tunic deal right here, which this is the one I used while I was on Jeddah, just hanging around there. I kind of like the idea of like wearing some Jedi-esque looking clothing while you're on Jeddah because it's a very
Yeah.
it's a strong Jedi world. Like there's a lot of force and Jedi-ness to the planet. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna switch to something there. So I kind of went off to something like that. As you can see, as we progress through these pictures, you'll notice a theme with the costumes. But you can move on to the next one.
All right.
Then once I unlock this look right here, this is kind of one of the main looks I had throughout the
I
game.
never
right
found
here.
this, by the way. I looked up where you get this, but I don't have it in my game. I never found it.
Oh yeah, dude. Once I had this, I was like, this is a badass look. I'm keeping it. So I had this on for like a good chunk of the game. Afterwards, I just really like the combo of how that looked. I believe it's called the Exile, like tunic or something.
Yeah.
And I
think
like it.
that's
And then I combined it with like the clone trooper like boots pants thing. And I don't know, I just really like the look of that. So I kind of kept that for my look in the game for a while. And then like after you do a bunch of the story stuff and once I got like towards the end game, these were my last two costumes because I was like, I want to try out some of this. So when you go to what you call it? What's the planet called? The one where Nova Garen, when you go there. When you go to Nova Garen is when I switched over to this brown jacket that you see right here. Cuz I was like, I want to, try something different here, and I think it was just a cool, interesting little look to have this little wintry kind of warm jacket to have for a little bit. So I rocked that for a little bit. And then like towards the end of the game, like the next image here is how I ended it with the Kyle Katarn look,
Yeah.
which I like that shirt too because you can't really see it in this image, but I chose that color shirt specifically because it had the Jedi Order like symbol on the left arm over here, on
Uh-huh.
the one that's not covered up by the Kyle Katarn thing.
I got you.
So I was like, yeah, this I just like the look of that, and then again with the brown clone trooper like kind of legs there. So those are kind of my looks throughout the game. Is how I like the main looks that I use. Because obviously before that you have the main Cal look that you start off the game with, and then like you unlock the other one on Kobo early in the game with the little cape or whatever. So I mean everybody tries that on for a little bit, right? So
Yeah.
there's the early game stuff you experiment with, but then all these looks that I showed off here are like my looks of the game, like throughout the course of the journey is the main ones I wore. So
I got
those
you.
are my looks. So if you want to show how your
So-
cow looked and did all that, feel free to do that.
So the photo I have for my cow is just the final photo, which is like what I wore at the end game. But before this, I had on. For a long time, I wore I forget what it's called, the commander armor thing, the thing that's got like armor up top. That one.
Yeah.
I wore that for the majority of the game. But then I found the fucking bomber jacket, and once I had that, I was rocking it the whole time.
The bomber jacket's a good look, man. I do like that one.
And I went with the undercut hairstyle because that's usually my type of hairstyle that I really like. So I had the slick back for a little bit, and I did try out the bun and all that, but I never changed any of the facial hair or anything like that. Mostly just the hairstyles because I kind of like the stubble look that Cal has throughout the game. But yeah, I went with the bomber jacket and the bomber pants and all that. And once I unlocked the colors, I kind of made it darker and all that. I did like you. I did wear the Jedi robes for a little bit on Jeddah, but I ended up swapping it back to the command. I really do like that commander armor with like the chest piece. Like that feels very cool. You know, one thing I wanted that's not, at least not in the game that I know of, it might be hidden out there in some fucking hidden room somewhere, is like I was really hoping for some High Republic Jedi robes. I was like, man, could you imagine if we found some and it would have like, and it had like the embroidery and stuff on it and all these designs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at least that I know of, I haven't found them out there, if there are any out there, or even if there are any out there. But I was like, we're dealing with High Republic stuff. Surely they put in some clothes somewhere. There's a lot of High Republic Jedi running around. In one of these boxes, there's got to be robes, right? I thought, well, maybe it's a thing you'll get when you beat the game. Nope, not anything that I've seen. Have I seen it? You can also see my BD there a little bit. But yeah, the customization is nuts in this game. There are tons of options, tons of mustaches, beards, the whole shebang, tons of hairstyles. They really listened to that criticism from the first game and really put in the work on the second one. So
yeah, that's just the customization for Cal. I took pictures of my of my blaster, my lightsaber, and BD. So I'm gonna send those to you as well because I did that too, and it was a lot of fun just experimenting with the parts and seeing like kind of what you can get, what you can, swap in and swap out and all that. So here's my blaster, my lightsaber, and my BD. So
all right, these are DTs. Let me get these.
So these are mine right here. This is kind of how I was rolling with my stuff.
Here's DT's blaster.
The game. That's my blaster right there. So once you unlock your once Bode gives you the blaster, it's kind of like, it's a decent looking blaster, but as you unlock stuff, I was kind of messing around with it, and I was like, I like this look, so I kind of went with that right there that you see on the screen, and that was my blaster for the rest of the game.
I like it.
Once I got those pieces, so I was like, yeah, look, it's a good look. I thought it looked good too. So that's my blaster. And then my saber, I kind of, if you can see the handle is kind of the same with the blaster and the lightsaber. They kind of have that same kind of like wrap around, the same color. And it's once I got what's her name's lightsaber, Centauri Kree's lightsaber, I kind of used the piece of that in the middle there. And then, I got some of the other pieces there. I stuck with the Obi-Wan end piece there. So that was how my lightsaber looked throughout the game. Here's another question I have for you, which you can say when you show off your lightsaber if you have a picture for that. Sure. Is that which stances did you end up using, and what lightsaber color? Because I know what lightsaber color you ended with because I thought it was funny because we both had the same lightsaber color and stance at the end there. So I started once I went to the workbench and I saw at the beginning of the game after Coruscant when you get into the Mantis. Once they're like, oh, you can change your stuff at the workbench. I immediately switched it to white. I didn't even choose any other color. I was because in the first game, once you go to Ilum and you're able to change it and all that, or once you're able to get all the colors unlocked, I went cyan because I'm like, blue's too boring. Like blue is just everybody has blue. So I was like, Cal's lightsaber is blue, but I want it to be different, but not different enough. So I just went with cyan in the first game.
Mm-hmm.
And in this one, even though they had cyan, I was like, as soon as I saw the white, I went straight to the white. Like I never like went with anything else. I tried out the green for a little bit because you guys know green's my favorite color. But I was white was just like a cool. It's just a cool lightsaber color, so I went with that and I stuck with it for the entirety of the game. I never really switched and tried out anything else. So that was the color I went with. And then like once you unlock some of the stances, dude, once I unlocked the cross guard stance, I never looked back. Like I
the same.
I unlocked the cross guard and I stuck with cross guard and double blade, and that was it for the rest of the game, dude. I stuck with those two. So there's my lightsaber. Those are the stances I went with. I had a white lights. I basically had a white cross guard the entire game.
Gotcha.
Or once you unlocked it. So how about yourself, man? What was your?
All right, I'm gonna show my blaster first.
Yeah.
So here's my blaster. Hang on, let me get a full fucking image here. Obviously, there's a theme with the purple. I love the color purple. And when I unlocked purple parts, I started putting them on here. So this is the final, and I went with this fucking like cracked with gilded gold, white pearl grips on here for my blaster. I didn't use blaster stands very often, so I didn't use the blaster a lot, but it's still cool. You still see it a lot, and Cal does use it at times. So
once I unlocked the blaster stance and they let you try it, I was like, nah, this isn't for me, dude. I didn't really end up liking it, so I was like, nah.
So that's my blaster. My saber this is what I finished with. So this is what I finished with. So it has Sears, spoilers, Sears lightsaber parts are on here. Jaro Tapal's lightsaber parts are on here. And Master Kree's lightsaber parts are on here. Because I thought for the end game, these are kind of like three people that have had an impact on Cal's life, right? So I threw them. I just made a monster lightsaber out of all of their parts.
That's cool, yeah.
So yeah, this is what I went with. And for my color, I was purple for the majority of the game. But once I got Kree's lightsaber, I was like, I'm gonna switch to white because I feel like if her whole lightsaber's white, I thought the color change here would be just it just felt kind of appropriate to swap it over to white. But for the majority of the game, my color was purple. Like I was rocking the purple lightsaber. And in the first game, when you got to change your lightsaber color, I went with purple. For here, the majority of the game, I was purple. But once I got the Centauri Kree's lightsaber, I swapped over to white just because it felt appropriate. Obviously, I have like the pearl on here as well because I really do like that cracked with gold kind of look to it. The majority of it is it's just it was just a mix of Jaro Tapal and Kree and Sears lightsabers built into one mega lightsaber, and I thought that was kind of appropriate to finish the game with. So that's it. And much like you, once I got the cross guard, I never went back. I
never, dude.
I wasn't sure how well I was gonna like it because it's slow. I love the cross guard in this game. I love the saber combat. I like all the stances. Don't get me wrong. If I could carry them all and swap, I fucking would. I wish that was a new game plus thing where it's like you can have all the stances you want.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like if you could use them all, I probably would, but to only get two, I'd stuck with crossguard and double blade, man. That was it for me, man.
Although I did crossguard single, yeah.
I did kind of like
I
the
doubled for a
dual
long time.
sabers. I like
Yeah.
the dual ones too, but ultimately I just went with crossguard double blade.
A lot of people like the dual sabers because you can cancel your attacks into a parries, and like it's just really strong against bosses. Apparently, I didn't use the double duels a lot. You know, I didn't give them a fair shake.
I didn't either. Yeah.
But maybe I'll mess around with them some more. But yeah, this is my
Like,
saber and
if they
blaster.
let you choose at like 3 stances, I would have gone dual or dual for my third, because I did like it for what I used, but I just yeah.
It's just nice to have other stances. Like they really put in the work from that first game to make them like these are full fighting stances now. It's not just here's a special move and you're a double for a hot second, or a dual for a hot second rather.
Yeah.
And the combat just feels so good. I know we'll get into that eventually, but we're still going over our customization stuff. So, what's your BD look like, DT? I think you already sent it to me. Do we want to talk about your BD?
Yeah, throw up the BD. So my BD, I kind of kept them the same, like looks wise. The only thing I changed was the headpiece and then the color. So I mean, I went from red to green, and then the head, I changed the head so it gives it a little bit more color as well on the top. But for the most part, pretty much the same. I didn't want to change them up too much, but I was like, I do kind of want to mess around with the customization a little bit. So
yeah,
like
it does feel a little weird to change BD because he's such a mascot for the game.
Yeah,
I did change mine up.
Yeah, so just the color and then the head, and that was pretty much it. I kind of kept the rest of it kind of the same. So
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's your homie right there.
No
You
home
saw my BD because
Yeah,
you
I did.
commented in the chat.
I did.
Let me get him up here. So
Yeah.
God, the camera's so dark for this. Hang on. Let me get it up here. A good image.
That's why when I took mine, I was like, it just seems better to do it at the workbench instead of trying to take them like in game or something.
Yeah, well, I was at a workbench, but even at the workbench, he's kind of dark. So here's the color. He is purple as fuck.
Yeah. This is the Pepto Bismol BD, right? The purple drink BD.
And I took a couple screens. Let me see if I can find a better one that really shows him off. Here's a better one. This is front view. God damn it! Why didn't you copy pasta screen? Here he is. Here's the front view of my BD. I got him. He's wearing shades. I was like, I'm giving BD shades. He's in the solar gear. I think you find it on Jedi. And he is purple as fuck. Yeah, he's super purple. But much like DT, I didn't customize him a whole lot once I kind of found my look for him and just kind of left him be with all the other parts I was finding. But yeah, there's my boy BD.
Nice. So that's the customization that we did, which
there's a ton of it in the game.
A lot of customization. There was a lot of other looks for Cal that I wanted to rock, but I just enjoyed like wearing the stuff that I had, and it was kind of tough.
Oh, you know what they should have added?
Some of those stuff. What's that?
Loadouts, so you could just swap easy. You know, would have been nice.
Yeah.
Like here's this, but they didn't do that, unfortunately. Maybe in the next game.
Man, that is actually a great idea. If they did that, you could just be like, all right, I'm on this plan, I want to rock this, or I'm in this part, I want to do this. Yeah, that would honestly, shit. Even now that we beat the game, I would love to have that, because I mean, we're still gonna be playing the game for all the extra stuff, right?
Margin, I did rock the mullet, but only for a minute to get an achievement. There's an achievement to drop kick somebody while you have the mullet, and that's the only reason I wore that mullet at any point.
Wow.
So, because you know how you drop kick when you have the cross guard.
The cross guard, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I wanna get that achievement. So.
It's your boy Cletus Kestis, man, with the handlebar mustache, the mullet, and the poncho, man.
Oh man! So I literally threw the mullet on, drop kicked, and then took it off. let's see. What's next, DT? What do you want to talk about? You want to get into the story a little bit, or?
Yeah. So we can start talking about like the story and stuff. So beginning of the game, you boot it up. The menu screen is you see the Imperial Palace on Coruscant, which is the former Jedi temple. Uh, and you're like, wow, this is cool. And then you press start game, and then it starts right there, and you're like, what the? We're starting on Coruscant? That was nuts to me, dude. That we started there. Um, and then like we see Cal in a dropship. He's all captured. I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here, dude? Like, how are we here already? How did he get captured? And then after a while, it kind of dawned on me that this is probably a ruse, that they're like, obviously this isn't a real capture.
Yeah.
Um, so that then it started making sense to me. But at the beginning there, I was like, yeah, what the hell's going on? But how'd you feel about that whole Coruscant? Oh, it was basically like, it's basically a prologue and like an intro to like, get you acquainted with the game and like, you know, kind of get you used to the companion combat with the Bode and you
Mm-hmm.
know. But yeah, how'd you feel about all that and the fight against the Ninth Sister and then the senator Sajan guy, the Utapowan guy and just
I
all
thought that dude. I thought
that
that
whole
dude was
thing
gonna be a
there.
bigger thing in the game. He is not. He gets murdered
No,
right off the fucking bat.
he
Like,
does.
because like when they first teased it, they kind of act like he's a big deal in like one of the first trailers. Nope, dies
So
right there by the Ninth Sister, murders the shit out of him.
so at the very, very first teaser that we ever saw for this game at last year's celebration, the one that I went to in 2022, when they were like pretty much revealed the game for the first time,
Mm-hmm.
he was in that teaser. And yeah, you think, whoa, so like who is this guy? Like he's gonna be a big deal in this game, clearly. And then like as more and more trailers started coming out, they didn't show him at all. So I was like, oh, okay. And then he just ended up being just a nobody in the beginning of the game, really. And
Yeah.
yeah, it just
Uh,
got
but yeah, I like the opening. Obviously, I was like, "There's something going on here." With nobody could capture Cal without like, not no group of normies. So obviously there was something going on. Uh, it was cool to see the Ninth Sister again. I think that had already been spoiled for me that she was going to be in the game, so it wasn't like a surprise or anything. I think you can see her in one of the teaser trailers or in one of the trailers before the game came out. Even she's in one of the like a lower corner. But I thought the way Cal dealt with her was like, damn. Like he called her out. He's like, "You used to be a Jedi before you turned to the Order." He says her name, even.
Yeah,
and it like shakes her up, and he's like,
Masana.
Masana, yeah. And he's like, "I'm gonna free you now," or whatever. And like he just fucking he chops her fucking head off, and I was like, damn, right?
I mean,
like,
he there's a theme throughout this game that Cal gives people multiple chances
mm-hmm.
to quit their bullshit. And it starts off from that moment, with the Ninth Sister. And she wants to keep the beef going, and he's like, "Nah, I'm done with this." I think it's honestly a really cool thing that they were like, this beef from the first game, we're gonna squash it right here at the beginning of the game. The Ninth Sister, this boss you fought on Kashyyyk, you cut her
remember
arm
how hard
off,
she
she's
was?
back. Yeah.
Remember?
And now
That's hard now.
Now you
Mhm.
fuck her up and you're done with that. So that was, I thought, like a really cool thing. And it, obviously introduces the dual saber stance and
Yeah.
That whole I thought it was well done. And I mean it is savage, bro, when he like cuts her head off and everything, but it's like he gave her a chance, dude.
Yeah, no, he didn't murder her. He gives
yeah.
just went the closest way he could.
He gives people chances throughout the game, and they just keep disappointing him and letting him down and trying to fight him. So
yeah,
that's just how it is. But I thought, the whole sequence was cool. I kind of wish Coruscant was bigger than that small area, because I was really looking forward to Coruscant in this game once we knew we were going there. So the fact that it was at the beginning and it's kind of like a smaller area, and it's like, okay, well, it's still cool that we're here because I love being here, but it reminded me of like, man, I wish we would have got 1313, man, because like that would have been, that would have been so good. But what we got in this was fun, even though it was small and short and whatnot. It was a really cool way to open the game, just right off on Coruscant, you know.
Yeah.
I wanted to know more about the Cal's crew, but they just died immediately, bro.
Yeah.
Gabs, the twins, Bravo, they all got
Yeah.
wiped out.
Yeah.
Um, you know, poor Bravo never stood a chance though, man. He didn't even have a name. His name was just Bravo. He is well, actually, that's the thing. I don't know if that's if that's his name or if that's like a code name, because Homeboy
Yeah.
just dies, you know, like.
Yeah.
But that's what made me realize, like, oh, he's probably not gonna
He
make
said,
it.
"I can't shake him." I'm like, "Well, he's dead." No, he said.
Anytime anybody says I can't shake him, they're usually
you're
dead.
fucked.
But another cool thing about that, fucking Z95s, dude. I was like, hell
Yes!
yeah, bro.
I
That's
was
so
like,
cool.
look at the fucking headhunters, dude. They're here. They're fucking in the game. That's so cool.
So sick, dude, with the Z95s. Hell yeah. So I really like that. That was awesome.
Yeah, I love how gorgeous Coruscant is. Like, that is one of my complaints about the game. Is like, I know why there's not more planets. I wish there were more planets, but obviously I know why, because the planets we do get are gigantic. Like, they are huge, like really huge. But some of them just feel kind of, I don't want to say samey. Some of them look samey. You know, like Jeddah and Kobo feel like they could be the same planet at points, you know, just on different ends. So I kind of want to like throw in, like, they mentioned Manan in this game. Throw in a Manan planet to let us kind of go to. Yeah. Or throw in, like I really liked Kashyyyk from the first game. Like that heavy, very wood heavy, foresty game. Yeah. So, that's, and granted, it's a very minor complaint because what we do is fucking huge planets and Kobo has multiple biomes, don't get me wrong. But I really would have liked that the moment like I saw Jeddah, I was like, that's right, this is a desert planet again. We're really hung up on these desert planets in Star Wars, aren't we? I was like, oh man, I wish there was a little bit more variety, I guess is what I'm trying to say here.
No,
in terms of planets.
I'm totally with you, because I felt the same way. I'm like, one of my, I mean, we're talking positives, but I mean, if we're going into a little bit of a negative again, then I'll jump in too.
It's fine. I think I don't think it needs to be all front loaded, one thing and the other. Let's just talk about what we want to talk about. So go ahead and talk about it, BT.
I agree with you about the planets. I don't know how many planets are in each game, but it feels like to me that there's a lot of back and forth in this game as opposed to the first one.
It is. Yes.
And I'm with you about the lack of variety. It feels like obviously there's a few different planets, but like the main two planets that you're on are Jeddah and Kobo. And both of them are kind of, I mean, they're not like super similar, because I mean, obviously Jeddah's like, it's like a deserty, like, also like we know that they have like snow and stuff too, right? So so it's not exactly like one really thing. It's a cold moon is basically the thing about it. But like, I could kind of see what you mean about it being somewhat similar to Kobo, because yeah, I mean, the environments for the main two planets that you're on are kind of similar-ish in some ways.
Yeah.
There's not enough, like you said, not enough like differences. Like in the first game, I feel like we had Dathomir and Kashyyyk and Ilum and just all these planets, and like also on those, it's not like you have a bunch of different locations either. Like they're not massive or anything as well, but like I feel like there was just more variety with the planets, like
Yeah. No, I
at least
feel you.
this is the way how I felt. Bogano, like even Bogano was cool, dude. Like, but yeah, I don't know. I just so the planets, like even though you said like obviously there's a lot more side stuff to do in this game. So Kobo's huge and all that, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I wish instead of like just front loading everything on Kobo, they would have spread the wealth a little bit more and put things on other planets
Yeah.
to make those feel like they have more to it as well, instead of just being like, here are all these tiny smaller planets that you could go to, but here's Kobo fucking huge that you'll probably never finish because there's so much stuff to do here. Um and it's kind of similar to some of the other planets, so I guess yeah, just the variety and just how just the planet sizes, or map sizes compared to each other is kind of like one of my other things. And I'm like, I wish that was different, but it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Yeah. I'm the same. I'm the same. Positives. There's a shitload to do in this game.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I
There
mean,
are puzzles.
I would-
There are side quests. There's almost too much.
I would
some
say
ways.
that the story between the two games is about the same length, but because of how much more extra side shit there is to do in this game, it's definitely feels longer, and it is longer because I don't think it took me. I mean, I don't know how many hours I put into Fallen Order, but like I feel like I was pretty much done with the game after a certain point. And then this game, I feel like I still have so much more to do on Kobo, and I'm just like still trying to do the chambers, and I still got to do the bounties and all that stuff. Like, there's so
Yeah, I
much
still
to
got
do
bounties
still.
too. So I'm looking at how long to beat. It has Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, just main story, the first game, 17 hours. Just the main story of the second game, 18 hours.
So yeah, like I said, about the same length story wise, but with all the extra side shit you could do, this game is so much more longer.
So for the main plus extra of Fallen Order is 22 hours. The main plus extra of Jedi Survivor is 27 hours. The completionist of the first game is 31 hours, and the completionist of the second game is 45 hours. So it's all that they definitely added more of the extra side stuff, but the main story is pretty much the same length. Which is good. It means they didn't take away, they just added to, right? We always talk about that. It's a thing we always talk about with sequels. It's like they didn't take things away, they added to, they expanded upon in the sequel. Like when I got rumors, I was like, wait, there's fucking side quests in this game now and stuff. Because I don't remember fucking the first game having really side quests too much. Also, other positive, human dismemberment is in this game.
Yeah.
We can cut off arms and legs.
You can lob off stormtrooper arms now. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
Man,
it
it
was
was
on stuff like that. Yeah.
It was so rough in that first game to be able to like, look, we're chopping up giant spiders. But I guess we're a baseball bat when it comes to a human. I'm glad they changed it in the game. In the second game, I'm glad they were able to get that in there. It is a toggle; you can't turn it off in the options menu. I'm glad it's there. Makes me really happy.
Going back to Kobo real quick, we talked a lot about how this feels the same, but I think one of the cool things about it is that just like when you come out of hyperspace, the planet itself and in space with the purple abyss and all that, that's actually a really cool look for a planet. Like,
yes,
that whole
it looks
area,
cool.
like that is awesome. So I will give it that. That looks really, really
a lot of like the visuals, like the beams that you can look up and see. My frame rate hates me, but it looks cool. Yeah. So a lot of the planet design is cool. I just wanted some more variety there. DT, anything else you want to mention about planets while we're talking about them, or anything else we've talked about that you want to mention?
So I think we should mention the planets in the game in general, because I don't think we've talked about them. So we have Coruscant, Kobo, Jeddah. We have the Shattered Moon.
Yep.
Nova Garen, Tanalor. I believe that's
I think that's everything.
It? 1, 2, 3.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
4. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 planets, right?
Yeah. Thanks.
So out of all those planets in the game, which one is was your favorite to go to and explore and just kind of hang out and be in?
You know, there's parts of each one that I find fascinating, really. I don't know if I have a particular favorite. Like, I like all the High Republic ruins and stuff. Like, that shit is really cool on Kobo. But I also like a lot of the ruins on Jeddah. Like, a lot of that stuff is really cool. And, like, there's a shot. Let's see if I have a screenshot of it. I can't remember if I took a photo of this or not, or if I just saw it in the game and let it be. That I was getting, like, a puzzle thing on Jeddah. I didn't take a screenshot. God damn it. So there was a Jeddah thing, a puzzle that I was doing, and I hopped up on this thing, and I didn't see this when I was in the area the first time, but there's like a painting. It's like you know, I get like stained glass windows and stuff like that. There was one on a ruin in the distance of like just a stylized, looked like a female like Jedi, like just on like a window. And it was huge, and I don't know how I missed it when I didn't see it. I was just like, wow, look at that. That's so cool. You know, I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, obviously we spend a lot of time on Kobo, but there's really cool stuff on Jeddah too. Man, I don't know if I can pick a favorite, to be honest with you. Do you have one? Is there one that like a favorite?
So I think of all the planets, I like the vibe and just the whole like when you're doing the story stuff on Jeddah probably is my favorite one. I just love like Marin's introduction is so fucking awesome. And then when you're fighting that drill thing with her together.
Oh my god, dude. I lost my shit when that happened. Sorry.
Bro, when you're like dashing in the fucking green Night Sister magic stuff, I was like, this sequence is insane.
Yes.
So
yes,
I think
whoever bring that up, you're amazing.
So I think all like my favorite story stuff probably happened on Jeddah, so I would have to go with Jeddah.
Yeah.
But I do love going to Kobo and just going into the saloon and talking to everybody, every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I just like that. But I think, Jeddah is probably my favorite planet. Like, dude, a bunch of cool shit happens on Jeddah, man. Like, again, the Marin stuff. Like, you get to make out and kiss with Marin. Finally, God damn it. Cal, I was like, Cal, my boy, you better. So he finally makes that happen.
He's like, is that for luck? And then she's like, no, that was for me. And I was like,
that's
God
for me.
damn.
You're like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude.
that's awesome. Yeah. So yeah, the whole like fighting with her against the drill thing and that, like, man, that whole sequence was fucking wild, bonkers, crazy good. And then like obviously when you're defending the archive with Seer after the betrayal and fucking Vader, dude, like, oh man. And then like just Seer, you get a moment of her, or just that whole she gets her time to shine, man. Like she gets a moment of just being a badass. And you got to defend the Jedi archive and you got to get the Arcanites out of there. And it's just what a cool thing, man. And then just like with even like just walking around like with like riding the Spammel in places, like just so cool. So yeah,
I thought that was such a funny name. Spammel.
Yeah, if I had to choose a planet, I think Jeddah would probably be my favorite one of the game.
That's fair. There's a lot of cool shit that happens there. That drill sequence, though,
dude,
hands down, absolutely one of the coolest things I think that's ever happened in a video game. Like that shit was so
wild. Fucking Marin, dude, Marin and her Night Sister magic is crazy, bro. crazy. So yeah, I loved all that. And then Coruscant opening was fun, but yeah, Jeddah I think is my favorite. And then I do like some of the other stuff on the other planet, like Nova Garen. Like when you get there and you're kind of just like scrumming around the ISB base undercover and stuff. That was fun. But yeah, I would have to say Jeddah for me. This is the one. So yeah.
Yep. All right. All right. So we're basically split in this game between two factions, right? That we're fighting. We're fighting the Bedlam Raiders and Dagan, Gara.
Yeah, Dagan, Gara, and Ravis. Yeah, and the Bedlam Raiders.
And then we have the Imperials, and the Imperials kind of take the back seat.
They do because they were
the majority of the
like,
game.
They were like the main villains of the first game,
Uh-huh.
And then now it's like, yeah, we got Dagan and Ravis and the Bedlam Raiders and all that craziness that goes on with that.
How do you feel about Dagan Gara as a villain?
I feel like he it was an interesting start, like when you're kind of when you first find Z and you're like, oh, you see the High Republic flashback and or vision with Centauri Kree, and the you get to see the Nile attacking Tanalor and all that all that stuff was cool, but I feel like he's more interesting at the beginning, and as the game progresses, he's just like a little bitch. I feel like, man, like this guy's a punk, dude. Like, how did I just kept thinking to myself, how is this guy? How did this guy beat Ravis? Like, how is like everybody like so loyal to this dude? Like, he just looks like he seems like such a punk, dude. So I feel like at the beginning of the game, I was like, okay, this could be interesting because I in the trailers and everything, I got the vibe that he would be like the villain, right? So it's like,
yeah,
that made sense to me that he would be the guy. He's a dude from the High Republic era that you unfreeze out, or get out of the back tank. So he's gonna be like the main dude, and he obviously has something to do with Ravis, but I didn't know what the relationship was gonna be right there just off the trailers. But then once we get into the game, it's like, all right. So yeah, he was kind of, I don't know, his whole plan was, I feel like a lot of the villains in this, especially compared to the first game, I feel like the villains in this game are weak.
Yeah.
Because in the first game you have Trilla, and I feel like she's such a compelling villain character.
Yeah.
Like, she is like, I think so much better than any of the villains in this game.
She also has a connection to one of the crew in the first game with Seer, though. And Dagan, I keep fucking his name up, doesn't have that connection, right? And we don't really, and I think this is the issue, because I also feel like he is a weaker villain. And the thing is like, we don't spend a lot of time necessarily with it. We get him in flashbacks and stuff, but he doesn't interact with Cal really all that much, except when they fight. Like some things, and it's probably because they do the switcheroo halfway through with Bode, right?
Yeah.
So that's probably why we don't get like a lot of that time. There's just not a lot of time to maybe establish that. So in the first game, Trilla obviously has a connection to the crew, and it's very easily like, and she's the boss of the end game, pretty much, and she is present throughout the entire first game.
Yeah. She's there from start to finish, man.
Exactly. And so Dagan Gara is here for not even at the start of the game. He's like at like he comes in at a third of a game and leaves about a third of a game, and then we hit like the end game with Bode and all that happens, right? So
yeah.
I don't think there's enough time for him to really I think he serves his purpose. He's not cooked enough to be like, if that was like the last boss of the game and that fight was the end, yeah, I would be let down by this game, because it's just not enough time spent building him up. And I don't find him all that interesting. Like the High Republic stuff, I really liked the High Republic stuff. I thought it was cool. And there was definitely something going on between him and
Centauri.
Centauri. Yeah. I definitely got that vibe.
I got that vibe too. I was like,
there's definitely some stuff going on here. But Dagan Gera's the whole story arc is he's just obsessed with getting to Tanalorr. That's his whole personality. Yeah. He's obsessed with that.
He's absolutely obsessed with Tanalorr.
I find Ravis the more interesting of the two. I think Ravis as I think he has this whole code. He serves Dagan, and he actually kind of establishes his backstory a little bit more. Like he was beat in combat by a Jedi. He was imprisoned. He wasn't killed. He just wants an honorable death. He has a code. That's interesting. His code is interesting to me. Like he's even like Cal, when him and Cal fight and Cal beats him and Cal's like, hey, come on, join me. Let's stop him.
Join me. Like, we can beat him together. Yeah.
It's like, no, give me the death I want. I crave. Right. So that's what happens. Cal kills him. That's another thing of you being like you said earlier, DT is like, he gives him a chance.
Yeah. He gives people chances throughout the entire game. He does this like with basically everybody he fights, bro. He's like, I'm giving you a chance. Join me, or you don't have to do this. And they always refuse him, dude. So, he's got to do what he's got to do.
I think Dagan would have been a better villain if he'd had more time to cook. But that's not the story they wanted to tell. There's two villains. Yeah. There's two sides in this story. So he's kind of like, and that's why they give you Bode at the start, and he's with you from the beginning, right? And he's thank you, brother. Like he treats you like a brother throughout the whole game. He's Charles from Red Dead, but in this game, right? Like that's it. Dagan's a little weak, but it's okay.
Shadow brings up a solid point about Dagan. He's like, he feels like Anakin, but with less time to understand why he is a prodigy that got so mad. All we know really is that he's gifted and he has he's obsessed about Tanalorr. And that he's trying to do whatever he can to get there, with the help of Ravis and the Raiders and all that. How'd you feel? Well, before we move away from him, how'd you feel about the scene where you bring him out the back of the tank and he bleeds his crystal and you have to fight him for the first time with one arm?
I thought it was cool. Like I don't think we've ever seen it, right? We've never seen
the bleeding of the crystal. No. And I never mentioned this in my playthrough, but his saber isn't like a full red. It reminds me of the orange red we see in the Ahsoka trailer that Baylan and Shin have. So that might be another thing to keep in mind for the Ahsoka series.
Could
with
be.
Baylan and Shin, with their orangey red sabers.
Yeah,
definitely look like that color to me.
Well, the thing is, Majin, when you're saying it was a quick heel turn, like it's not really, because he's already heel turned before he's in the tank. We just don't know it because we don't get that backstory till later. Like before he's in the tank and loses the arm, he's murdering Jedi and shit and breaking trying to get the compass. So if you don't watch it the whole way through and get those flashbacks, you might not have caught some of that, and it would seem quick. But yeah, and his.
I mean,
I didn't realize this. Sorry, go ahead.
Just quickly going back to your point of like him and Kree having a thing. It's like she didn't kill him; she put him in the fucking back tank.
Yeah,
left him there.
If anything, she's horrified that she cut his arm off.
Yeah, she's the one that cut his arm off. Like she could have been done with him right then and there, but she chose to keep him alive. But anyway, continue.
There definitely felt like a love story there. Like it definitely felt like maybe they weren't, public about it, but there's definitely some feelings in there that may have affected some.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you, Majin. I got you. Uh. So yeah. I thought Ravis was interesting. That's where I was at.
Yeah, I like Ravis too. It was. I'm just glad we got to see another Gendai besides Dirge. You know.
Yeah.
Because the Gendai is so. I thought his fight was gonna be like, not that I just thought it was gonna be tougher, man. Because like Gendai, I'm so used to them being like so unkillable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
his fight was actually pretty easy for me.
Yeah, I didn't really struggle too much with it either. I thought, Gendai, shit, this guy's gonna be hard as hell to fight, but he was like not that bad. I was like, okay, it was a cool fight, but it's just like I thought, them, like knowing what I know about the Gendai, I was like, man, this guy's gonna be like dirt. He's gonna take forever to kill, and he just was like, give me my warrior's death, Cal Kestis. It's like, all right, well.
Oh, the
see ya,
voice
dude.
acting's so good. I like that voice actor. That Ravis's voice actor is pretty cool.
Yeah, dude. One of my like favorite things is when you first meet Turgle for the first time when you go into the saloon, and they're like getting ready to fucking like Turgle's like crawling away. Which, by the way, I fucking love Turgle, dude. Well, I know we'll talk about all the side characters in the saloon in here in a bit, but I fucking love Turgle. But anyway, when you go to the saloon for the first time, and you're like Turgle like gets thrown out and he's like crawling backwards, and you see like one of the Bedlam Raiders like going up to him, and then he's getting ready to kill him, and Kyle's like, yo, what the hell are you doing? And then what's his name? Ravis pops out, and he's like, we can't do that. And when he's talking about the thing that he's like sold him that was fake, he's like, it's cause it was fake. And the way he says fake, dude. I was like, Jesus, the guy whoever's voicing Ravis, bro. Which, by the way, it's DC Douglas. So shout out to DC Douglas. He killed it as Ravis, good sir.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, fun fact, he did some voices for Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is a cool little fun thing. We love Mass Effect around here, so
Yeah, we do.
it's a good cool little thing. But he killed it as Ravis. But yeah, that whole like the introduction to him and Turgle was when he says fake during that part. I was like, damn, this guy knows how to say fake,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, Ravis was yeah. I liked his character. I dug it. He was cool.
Yeah.
And like you said, I wish like Dagon, I would have liked him more if we would have gotten more time with him. But I feel like a lot of his story is like, in the Force echoes you find around everywhere. Like you'll get stuff there, and like I know I've gotten stuff with Ravis there too, and Bode as well. Like after you beat the game and you go to the docking area of the Mantis, in the on Kobo, like below the docking area, there's a bunch of Force echoes with Bode. And when he's talking to Denvik and all that stuff too, and it's interesting. So
Yeah.
definitely like go find those Force echoes because they definitely add more to the story that's not, in the story.
There's the echo where you fight Dagon and kill him after you beat the game for Bode. There's one there. Because spoilers, Bode has Dagon's lightsaber. That's what he fights you with.
Yeah.
So there's an echo of him taking it, apparently.
By the way, after we beat Dagon, and he's like, "Oh, you go ahead. I'm gonna stay here." I was like, "This is sus as shit, dude."
Yes.
Why?
It was
why
a little
are you
like,
staying
what's
behind?
going on?
I was saying that to chat. I was like, "Wait a minute. Why are you staying here? Why aren't we just leaving?" So like, even though I wasn't totally surprised by Bode betraying you, because I got like, there was moments like that where I was like sussing him out. I was like, this guy is like, he says brother this and like, yo, we were my homie and this and that, but yo, throughout you can kind of see moments of his susness. Like for me, that was one of the big ones after he stayed behind when we killed Dagon. I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing here?
So yeah, guys, Bode's a bad guy.
Yes.
Didn't figure it out yet.
Bode betrays you. He's the main bad guy of this game. He starts off with you as a dude you meet for the first time on a mission to Coruscant. You guys are doing a job for Saw Gerrera, and he's like this dude you just met. And then like throughout the game, you kind of get closer to him and become friends, and he ends up betraying you.
Yeah.
Which do you want to get into Bode now that since we're talking about the villains? You want to get into
we could talk about Bode before we get to the other side character. We can finish up with cool side characters and stuff at the end. But yeah, let's talk about Bode here.
So Bode, the betrayal happens when you get to Jeddah. He informs the Empire that Seer's archive is on Jeddah, and the Imperials arrive. He after Master Cordova fixes the compass, he takes it from him and he holds Cordova at gunpoint. He fucking shoots him, runs away, and you as Cal have to chase his ass down before he leaves with that compass.
By the way,
the chase is on. Yeah.
Did you realize? I didn't realize this till after, and I was reading some other people's slots. It's like he kills Cordova just like how he saves you at the start of the game. When that stormtrooper's walking over to shoot Cal, he's standing over Cal. Bode walks up behind him and just kind of stands there and just slowly puts his gun in him and just shoots him, just like he does with Cordova. I was like, I didn't even realize that, but that's like he does the exact same thing. He does the exact same thing. He does the exact same thing. Yeah. It's like, that is good writing. Like, I didn't realize it. Like, it's so subtle. Like, but if I was paying attention, I would have realized that was the, you know, almost some foreshadowing there in some ways, you know? Like, yeah. But yeah, we get this epic chase too. Yeah.
Oh, dude. That whole chase thing, like when you're trying to, after he kills Cordova and then Seer and Marin are like, go get his ass, man. Like, we'll hold, you know, we'll try to hold off the Empire here. And yeah, dude, when you hop on the speeder bikes and chase his ass down, I was like, this is nuts, dude.
I saw those bikes early. I saw those bikes early and I was like, please tell me we get to ride these things at some point.
No, I saw them early too, because Cal's like, I've never rode one of these things. I'm like, are we like, get on it, bro? Like, what are you, what are you waiting for? It's right there. And so that when we got a chance later, bro, I was chasing him down on the speeder bike. So I'm like, Cal, force pull him off the speeder bike, push him off, grab your lightsaber, slice his bike. Like, the speeder didn't have blasters on it. So I'm like, do something, Cal. Push his ass off or down. Or I guess the idea with that is you don't want to damage the compass, right? If you like, or to force pull him or push him off or whatever. I mean, that's how I had canon it, at least. Because otherwise, I'm like, I would have pushed his ass off that bike, man. But yeah, that whole chase is, dude, that's when you force pull the trooper out from the bike onto the TIE fighter. So cool, man. That whole chase was yeah. I'm like, freeze his ass, like do something, Cal. Why are you letting him get away? You have the force, dude. But then you stop and you get to him and you have a duel and he reveals that he is also not only force sensitive but a former Jedi as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which I still, before we continue talking, I still don't know how he was able to hide the fact that he was force sensitive from everybody. Because I feel like how did they not know? Like, did he just cut himself off from the force like Seer did in the first game and like Luke did in The Last Jedi? Like, how was he able to hide the fact that he was force sensitive from all these guys? So that to me was kind of like, what's going on? How, you know?
Yeah, I think they even say it in the game, like, how are we not able to sense him or something? I think somebody says that, right?
They mention that, but they don't explain like how he was able to do it, you know? At least as far as I know.
I don't know if there's an explanation.
He hid from he hid from Seer, from Cordova, from Cal, from Marin. Like how? All these people are force sensitive, and he hid from all of them. So that to me is kind of boggling, but
maybe he just has himself cut off, like you said. Like that's all I can think of is like he's been cut off for so long,
that's
right?
The
because
only
he's
explanation that I have. Yeah,
he's worked for the ISB for a very long time, right? Like that's the thing. Is like he's worked as an ISB agent basically, and and they've hit him for so long, basically, and then like he's probably been around people that can sense that stuff. He's just kind of cut himself off from it.
Yeah, so that I mean that's literally the only thing I could think of because other I'm like, how did he do that? How did he hide himself? But anyway, so you reach the point where you get off the speeders and he lands at his Z95 and you fight for a little bit. And off the bat, I knew this was an unwinnable fight because you do not have BD1 with you, which means you cannot heal yourself with stims.
Yeah.
So I knew this is a fight you're like story reasons you have to lose. So I fight him, you lose, and then he leaves, and then you get the respawn, and you're like, what the hell? Like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back as Seer, and dude, that whole sequence on Jeddah, with when you play as her and you're defending the archive with Marin, one of the most awesome things of the whole game. I love that. That thing is awesome. Not only do you get to see like Seer and Marin like work together, and Seer gets a moment of being a badass. Like, don't in the book they mention Seer being like she's one of the most powerful force users in the galaxy or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we finally get to see that a little bit here with her whooping ass and defending the archive and all that. Which going back to the book, I don't know. I didn't read the book, so I don't know how much actually ties into the game. But
they
I don't
call
think
it a tie-in novel. Does not seem like a tie-in novel at all.
I don't think much does. But anyway, we're not gonna. I just
that
wanted
book's
to
not
talk
canon
about that
to me.
really.
It's not real to me if they don't have it in the game. Get out of here.
I just wanted to bring that up really quickly because I know it people might want to mention that and talk about that too. But I didn't read it. I just heard things about it and they were not good things. Anyway. So yeah, I mean that is one thing I did hear though, that Seer was mentioned as like a powerful Jedi in that book or whatever.
Mm.
And then we get to see that here because she's a badass, dude. Seer is badass. But yeah, how'd you feel about that whole sequence? Because I remember I streamed it one night, and that was the last thing I did that night, that whole sequence. And I raided Josh while he was streaming, and I was like, dude, I just did some wild ass shit. When you get here, I'll tell you about it. But man, that was nuts to me. Like, so good. Like you get to see the AT-ATs and the AT-STs and just what a setup. Like what a set piece, man. Anyway, go ahead.
I didn't get to fully enjoy it because the frame rate dropped so low. Like, I don't know if you saw it on stream, if you could tell like how bad it was. It was bad. Like when you pop in and you're Seer and all that fire is there, like it was chugging. So that kind of, it's still really cool and it was still really awesome, but it kind of got ruined a little bit just because of like the performance issues that I had right there. Obviously it was cool to see Seer be a Jedi fucking master and get to play as her and see her working with Marin and just fight fucking the purge troopers and all the fucking stormtroopers and the AT-ATs and all that shit, AT-STs too, like the whole deal. It is a really cool sequence that got ruined for me by performance issues. But in terms of story, it's so cool though. It's so cool. And the fight that happens with Vader is so cool. Like the moment, like in my brain, I'm like, well, Vader's gotta be here. Like there's no way he's not. So yeah, that whole thing was really cool.
Sure. That
and everything leading up to it. Also, we talked about Cordova. We didn't talk to him about a minute. I didn't know he was fucking alive. When he came walking out of that door, I was shocked, I tell you. I didn't have no fucking clue.
Because they kind of allude to him being like, the first game makes it seem like he's not around anymore, right?
Yeah, he's off hunting the Zepho or something. It's like what kind of all you know. I just always assumed he was dead.
I guess they never say he's dead, but they made it seem that way. So I was kind of with you. I saw him and I was like, "What the hell? He's here?"
Misdirection. I'm like, are we seeing I thought we were seeing a vision at first. You know, like Cal has visions at certain points in the game. I was like, is Cordova actually here or not? He fucking is there. He's alive. That was a shocker. I wasn't expecting that. I think I was even like, what the fuck? What's he doing here? You know?
Yeah.
But he gets killed, unfortunately.
He does, which I was like hoping he had more to do, but he's just there.
Yep.
Like
he helps you with the compass.
I mean,
and stuff.
yeah, he's the one that does the compass, but he's like on Jeddah the whole time. I was like, well, is he gonna be doing more? Like, oh. So I don't know. I was just kind of like wondering like if he was gonna. But no, I'm with you. It was very surprising to see that he was still,
Mhm.
you know, alive and just like around. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. How'd you feel about the Vader fight? Because I know some people were upset about it. Because
Really?
Vader, some people don't like Vader getting handled, I guess. Well, he doesn't really get handled. He wins. I don't see what the issue is. But some people don't like how much of a fight Seer puts up against him, I guess. Like, I don't have a complaint with that. How do you feel about it?
I mean, listen, at this point, every fight Vader has with a Force user leaves him some kind of messed up in some way or another. Like if it's like even somebody like if it's not like a no-name Jedi, if it's a no-name Jedi, he can handle them. But if it's like somebody that we recognize or know, they kind of put up a fight against him.
Yeah.
And like at the end of the day, Vader's always getting messed up. He can always get repaired. We know he doesn't die, so why are people like I don't know, to me it doesn't bother me. Like
doesn't bother me either.
Again, going back to the Sears powerful Jedi thing, like, you know, people again may not know that she is, but I mean, that fight should show you that she is. I mean, obviously we know from the beginning she's not making it out. So I don't see why, you know, people get upset. Like he got thrown into a fire and like burnt and stuff. His cape got burned or whatever. Like, you know, whatever. It is what it is, man. Like he's always getting messed up. That doesn't bother me.
Doesn't bother me either. I was just curious how you felt on it because I know there were some people that were upset. I'm not upset by it. Like I thought. I mean, one thing to be blunt here, it's a video game. You're fighting Vader. You got to put up something of a fight. You know, like it's fucking, you know, or else it's not a very fun video game for one thing. But second is like it's Seer, and she is at her most powerful at this moment because she's let go of her fear. She even tells Vader this. She's like, I've let go of that, so she's at her most powerful. I think, yeah, and she's a fully trained Jedi master at this point, with years of experience. Of course, Vader's gonna have like, he's not gonna lose. He's Darth fucking Vader, but you know, he takes a beating in some comics too. Like nobody bitches about any of that stuff. You know, like I don't know. I think it's fine. He redirects the blow and we lose Seer, man. She's killed. That hurt. That hurt. I got legitimately like I choked up on stream when it happened. Like when like Cal does such a good transition. Like Vader like stabs her and then he kind of walks off because she's dying and gonna die. And then she falls down and it's like Cal catches her, right? Like he's been out of action. He kind of grabs her as she goes down, and it's just I got choked up. I got choked up at that scene, like because it is very emotional.
There's some good moments with her and Cal after that point. Like, just really quickly, I want to bring up. I mean, right after that, when she's like dying, and he, you know, like goes towards her and all that. But dude, the moment for me that like hit me hard was, or that hit me like a good Star Wars moment was when they're trying to go to Tanalorr and they are doing the array stuff.
Yeah.
And Cal's like, "Do you trust me, Grease?" And he's like, "Yeah." And then Seer tells him like, she like talks to him. Dude, that moment to me reminded me of like Obi-Wan and Luke in A New Hope
Yeah.
when he's like, you don't need the targeting computer or whatever. That's what it reminded me of. I'm like, this is such a good Star Wars moment from like basically kind of master and apprentice kind of deal here, like it was so good, dude. Like such a great moment. And then it's like Seer like appears to Cal a few times after that, and it's just great.
That whole ship ride is great, especially after that. And Cal and Marin are making out, and Grease is screaming, and Marin slaps him. That shit was so funny. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of. So when people say this game has weak villains, just to go off on a side tangent with Dagan Gera, and it's because like Cal and the people around him are the most important characters in this game, and they have the best writing. Everything that is about this game is about them and their emotional journeys and all of that in the game. So I can forgive like weaker villains because I feel like their writing is the hero's writing, I should say, is just top notch. Like, I don't think there's any way they could have written it any better. The emotions are emotional. The anger is real. The voice acting is perfect. The acting is fantastic. Like the whole, and with all of that being good, I can forgive, Dagan Gera being like a weaker villain because this is Cal Kestis and this is his story and this is what it's about. Him and Marin finally connecting in the story, and him losing Seer and what it affects him realizing that he's becoming Dagan Gera with his obsession to fight the Empire. Like it's leading him down a darker path, and to me, that's the most important part of this game is like just that story with Cal Kestis, and the journey he's going on, and the things that he's having to realize about himself, and realize like he's become obsessed with this great war and how it means nothing. It's literally the Empire is as strong as it's ever been. He's made no difference in the years, in the 5 years he spent fighting, right? Like. So that's kind of why I can forgive like a weaker villain, to go back to that for a moment.
I gotcha. Yeah, because I see what you mean, but and like you're it's totally true. But I kind of, even with that, I still wish like they were better. I don't know, like they were better developed or had more. Like I mean, because again, they did in the first game with Trill. Like she's such a great villain. But I guess in that first game, to add on to that, is that you kind of build up the crew, over time, and you don't like. But I don't know. It's kind of hard when the first game I feel like has such a much better villain, in my opinion. But
well, like I said, I think it's because they've got it split in half, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes it weak, because we get Dagan Gera for. It doesn't even feel like half the game. And to me, he's not the villain. Bode's the villain at the end, like.
Yeah. I mean,
it's.
And for like selfish, stupid reasons. Like, how did you feel about like his motivations? Like, obviously, we haven't even mentioned Kata yet. Like, yes, he's a father. He's looking out for Kata. Like, I get his whole. Like, I get his point of view for wanting to keep her safe and all that, even though I'm not a father or anything like that. But I get what he's trying to. Like I understand, right? What his he's trying to do. But I think like even at the end of the game, when Cal's like giving him a chance, he's like, we can all be here, like you, Kata, like the hidden path, like everybody. And he's just stubborn as hell. And he's like, no, dude, like what happens when the Empire gets here? You're gonna be able to defend her too. And it's like all of this could have been like, I feel like so much of that could have been avoided if he just wasn't a damn fool. Like,
hey man,
Cordova wouldn't have died. Fucking Seer wouldn't have died. He wouldn't have died. Fucking Kata wouldn't have been I mean, she's not an orphan, but like she wouldn't have not had both parents. You know what I mean? Like that. Like what are you doing, Bode? Like this all could have been avoided if you just were thinking a little bit more clearly, man. But
Yeah. The dark
how'd you
side
feel about
deceives,
all that?
DT.
It does. I
By that
mean,
point, I feel like he's fallen, right? Like he literally like almost kills his daughter. He like destroys a bridge that she's standing on. He force pushes her back. Like he has Anakin Padme choking moments, you know, like kind of almost. And yeah, if he wasn't so stubborn, like he's all for it. Like he's all for it going here as long as it's like Cal and his small group and you know him and his daughter. But the moment that he's like, Cal changes because they have this discussion, and there's an echo in Pyloon's that he's trying to go over a way to convince Cal out of it is, he's afraid of the Empire finding a way to, you know, the planet that they're going to hide out on. And from that moment on, he just makes terrible, betraying decisions, right? The moment he murders Cordova, he's on the path to the darkness. And he's doing it out of love for his daughter, but like there is definitely a strained relationship with his daughter that they have. Like it's not said a whole lot in many words, but you can see it in the way that Kata's character is written. Like she even tells Cal, like, I'm sorry my dad hurt you and all this. Like it is very strained. Yeah, he's fine as a villain, I guess. He's not on Trilla's level for me, like you're saying with the first game. Like
yeah, I think none of the villains are on Trilla's level in this game. I mean,
yeah,
it is like you said though, like they split a lot. Like you got Ravis, Dagon, and Bode, so it's like you have only so much time to contribute to each one, especially when the story is only as long as it was on the first game, and you like it's the same amount of time, but you have more than one kind of main villain, I guess. So it's a little tough to do that, but I don't know. I wish if that was the case, I wish they would have like done a little bit more with them, uh, to kind of give them more like time, you know. But
yeah,
you know, it is what it is.
yeah. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of a Marvel movie, right? Where they have a one-off villain. Like a lot of times that feels like a letdown. Sometimes like
yeah.
Like Iron Man 2. You know, we have Whiplash or whatever the fuck he's called in that movie. And feels like such a yeah, sorry. He's a weak ass villain. You know, and those movies, those Iron Man movies aren't about the villains, they're about Iron Man. Right? But Marvel makes that mistake a lot sometimes where it's like you don't get a Thanos in every movie, right? You build up to a Thanos. And this kind of feels like that. This feels like the villains here are kind of like the crappier of the MCU villains that kind of happen at times. You know, they're the Yellow Jacket, they're the Ghost, they're the, you know, all that stuff. And I think it is because they split. I think that is the thing. Like, I think Bode is meant to feel more because he's your friend throughout the whole game up to that point.
Yeah.
But then there's the Malekith. I don't think they're that level.
Damn.
I don't think they're that level of bad, but they're definitely not the high stakes like Trilla and the Inquisitors are. And maybe it's because also like Star Wars Inquisitors in general have a lot of already established, you know, backstory, like especially in the comics. There's tons of stuff about Inquisitors.
Comics, Rebels, like they're Inquisitors are in Obi-Wan too. Which, by the way, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and this game takes place in around the same time. So
yeah,
at some point, Vader goes from killing Seer and doing all that stuff and to fighting Obi-Wan again. You know.
Yeah.
So it's nuts.
So the Inquisitors feel like a big, larger, looming threat, I guess, because they are that established um, opposing force to the good guys. Whereas Bedlam Raiders are just a bunch of random dudes that found fucking some BD droids.
I found a Lucre Hulk ship
Yeah.
and, you know, converted a bunch of battle droids to help them out. Yeah.
So I definitely understand the criticism for the weaker villains, and they are weaker in this game than they are in the first game. I do agree with that. Like, but
it was cool having the enemy variety though, like gameplay wise, like having destroyer droids. And
oh my god,
commando droids and
all
B2s,
the banter,
B1s.
all the banter that happens is so funny. Like all the B1 and B2s and the talking to the raiders, and they're all talking. And even when you're out in the world, you have party banter with Bode and Marin, especially when y'all are riding around on the
Spammel.
The spammel. Yeah, I was gonna say the spam witch, but that's not right. Yeah. But yeah, I love all the little side banter they've added.
Yeah.
And all of that.
Just like even the Bedlam Raiders talking to the droids and stuff too was kind of
yeah. But yeah, are we ready to move on from villains, DT? Or is there anything else you want to mention on them?
No, I think we pretty much said what we had to say. I mean, I think we talked about it all.
Let's talk about some side characters that we like. Turgle. This is my Turgle. You can't have him. He's mine.
Love Turgle. Love Turgle. He's the best little guy the best new little guy that is around. I love Turgle. He's great. I need to see Turgle return. I want him to be on the Mantis with the crew, man. He's just a silly little guy, man, that's up to stupid schemes, and we get to hear about all of that, and it's fantastic. And the guy who voices Turgle is the same dude who does the voice for Invader Zim and Daggett from Angry Beavers, Richard Horvitz. So for everybody out there who may have recognized that voice, that's who it is. So yeah, Turgle is the best. Love Turgle. Definitely my favorite of the saloon crew of people.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's my favorite for sure. I love Turgle.
Yeah. Turgle's awesome.
But we have other people too.
There's a ton, actually.
So we got Dana and Grok. We have Moran. We got Ash and the DJ droid. We have Cage. Monk, the bartender droid. Who am I missing? Oh, I mean Z. We kind of mentioned her a little bit earlier. But
Mosey. We get Mosey.
Mosey, yeah. How you doing, BD? Yeah, Mosey's around.
No lie, I was like, if Cal and Marin don't get together, can we hook up with Mosey with her jacked ass arms? I was like, I was strangely attracted to that woman.
How you doing, BD? Yeah, fucking Mosey just. I did notice her fucking jacked ass arm too. I was like, what the hell? I mean, makes sense for what she does, but I was like, damn.
Zig? Is it Zig? Zig? The lady upstairs.
Oh yeah, Zig and what's the other?
Winnie? Is it Winnie?
Winnie. Yeah, Winnie. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Zig and Winnie. Yeah, those two are up there. And then what's the
Tulak?
Oh, Tulak. Yeah, Tulak. Yeah. Sojourner.
Yeah.
And then what's the gardener lady's name? Fuck, I forgot her name.
Peely.
Yeah, Peely's cool too. You find her on Jeddah.
But my brain went Pelly from fucking Mando. Like every time I saw her name, I'm like, that's not right. It's spelled different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how the cantina grows over time.
Oh, and then I forgot the holo tactics people. But yeah, one of my favorite things about that game is how you encounter people.
Oh, And
then you
Scuba
recruit
Sev.
him. Oh, Scuba Steve, yeah,
Scuba Steve.
Scuba Steve, yep, with all his fish, and telling you about his stories about how he wouldn't kill a Quarren and he got jettisoned and into a skate pod or whatever, and it's fucking crazy, yeah.
There's a lot of little side characters in here, and they have a lot of dialogue.
They do. Every time you leave and come back, they always have something to say.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I love them all. Like, even Moran is an interesting, like, no joke. They're little side characters. I will be heartbroken if they have a third game and we don't get to see those people back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, because I'm attached to, like, all of them. Like, talking with them and chatting with them and learning about them. Even Moran, who's, like, kind of a shitbag a little bit, is, like, he's kind of had a hard life in some ways. Like, I like all of the characters, and they have such good writing about them. Oh, it's so good. You know? What are you gonna say, DT? I got caught up in my moment.
No, just like him being like, oh, I didn't tell my partner I moved out here because you know, I was kind of ashamed to say it or whatever. He says, right? Yeah, no, they all have interesting things to say. One of the funniest things that happened to me though is I was having a serious conversation with Two Locked, and I would just look up, and I'd see the DJ droid just doing his DJ shit. Like, we're having a serious ass conversation, and the DJ droid's just jamming out and vibing in the background. Oh fuck, that's hilarious, dude. I love it though. It was great, man. Did you mess with the music at all? I like listened to like all of them just to see what they were like.
I looked through it. I didn't specifically play. I bought Terrace or a Lament or Mourn for Terrace or some Terrace song.
I saw that too, and I bought it immediately. I was like,
I did too.
KOTOR, baby, KOTOR.
I was like, KOTOR. Manon is mentioned a couple times, which we already knew that was canon, but like it is still like exciting and stuff to see it. Same for Terrace. I was like, look at them knowing KOTOR is one of the greatest games of all time. Okay, you would have to if you were making a Star Wars game, you'd have to look at something like KOTOR and realize that thing exists. But yeah, that when Scuba Steve mentions a Purrgil, I was like, Yorko was in the chat. I was like, he's got to be talking about a Purrgil, right? He's talking about a space whale. It's got to be a Purrgil. And then it gives you the database entry for Purrgil. I was like, yes, space whale. But yeah, I love all those little side characters in there. They're all interesting. They all have really good written dialogue. They always have something to say. They all have their own personalities, wants, needs, all that. All the stuff you want a good NPC to have, they have it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any I don't like. I like all of them. I think that says a lot about them.
In their own way.
Yeah.
Did you get to the part with a certain point with Dana and Grok or not yet?
Yes.
Because I was gonna say something happens there after a while.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
It's just kind of Dana now.
It's just so Grok ends up dying, which I know exactly where his body is if you want to know, by the way.
Where's it at?
If you haven't found him, it's you know how you get to a certain point in Kobo where there's like a green gate,
yes,
and there's like stormtroopers behind it.
Yep.
If you go there and you go to the left on the pathway, his body's on the floor there, and you can you go. There's an echo there you can grab.
Cool.
And you hear like Dana talking about like, oh, you know, I'll come back for your body later or whatever. But she seems like she don't really care, dude. It's like, damn.
Yeah.
So that's crazy. But yeah, I love like going in there. I would like literally leave, go do a mission or go explore, come back and just go back in the saloon, just talk to everybody all over again. I love that kind of shit, man. So yeah, all the side characters are just great. I enjoy them all. But like I said, Turgle is my favorite, so I hope we get to see more Turgle. He is the best.
All right. Let's talk about Cal Kestis, because we haven't really talked about Cal all that much, really. Cal is.
Before we go into that,
start.
really quickly, I just want to say, so Fallen Order is 5 years after Revenge of the Sith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Survivor, 5 years after that. So 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. From where we are in the first game, how do you feel about where he's at here in this game, at the beginning of the game and at the end of the game? Since we're talking about Cal.
It's
Like,
interesting at the start.
You feel, or yeah.
Yeah, because I feel like
look.
No, I got you. I think it's because like he has become obsessed with fighting the Empire, right? Like in this whole multi-year gap, like he is the one that sticks to the fight. Everybody else kind of goes their own way. And he's become so obsessed with it, I feel like it kind of maybe stunts his growth a little bit. Not in a bad way, just like he is so obsessed with fighting the Empire at the start of this game. Like, and throughout the game, he grows a shitload to the end of the game, in my opinion. He is, at the start of the game, he's kind of like, I don't want to say upset or angry, but he's definitely disappointed that like everybody's kind of gone their own way to do their own thing, and nobody's like stuck with him through this fight with the Empire. And he's working with Saw Gerrera of all people, which I was kind of curious if we were ever going to see Saw again during the course of this game, because he's mentioned a lot at the beginning, but I guess not. So at the start of the game, I think where he is an interesting place, like, because we get to him like he's been fighting the Empire for years. They get the info on the senator's yacht, right? And he looks at the map and he's like, 5 years of fighting and it's made no difference. Like, yeah, everything he's done is like for nothing. It's like they're not even making a dent in the Empire. It is too large. And then throughout the course of the game, do we want to talk about the course of the game as he kind of grows? Is that what you want to talk about, or how do you feel about him at the start? What do you think?
No, I kind of agree with that. It's like he's been fighting for so long, and he's the only one that stayed on this path of like so much so to the point where like everybody else in the crew went and did their own thing. I mean, Marin's like, I had to go find myself, and Grace is like, I just want to open up a cantina. Sears like, I want to just chill and like focus on rebuilding or salvaging the Jedi and the archive, and having his archive and stuff. And Cal's like just continuing the fight, so much so that he has a new crew that obviously we lose at the beginning of the game, but like it's been like, who knows how long he's been with these people for, right? Like I don't think they're in the book at all, right? That crew.
I have no idea. I'm assuming not, because he's still with the OG crew in the book.
So at some point between after the book and this game, he has that whole brand new crew that he's with, and they're just keeping up the fight. Like he's still with it, right? So yeah, he just I'm with you though. He kind of does over the course of the game kind of change, especially after like reuniting with Marin, and I think Marin has a huge part of like his change in this. Like she's there for like a lot of the moments where we kind of see him do things that you're like
Yeah. So yeah, like I think he finally realizes like I'm gonna make this comparison to Saw Gerrera. We see what being obsessed with war for years does to somebody, right? Like,
oh yeah,
like especially you see it in Saw throughout all the animated stuff and the live action stuff. Like everything that Saw is in, he is consumed by fighting the Empire all the way up to the very bitter end, where he's more machine now than man. Cal Kestis. Yeah. I think if he keeps up that fight, right? Like if he didn't have the growth that he has in this game, like I think he's in danger, and that's gonna say a lot because of how this game ends too. He's very much in danger of falling into the dark side, right? Like and becoming just like Dagon Gera. I think Dagon also like has a big impact on Cal, even though he's like a B tier or C tier villain. Like his obsession, Cal sees that, right? And learns from that.
See that exactly. He's like, I don't want to become that.
And it gives him this moment of self reflection that he also has. But he gets these moments with Seer and Grease and Marin over the course of the game, where he's like, maybe the Jedi are gone. The Jedi are gone. Like maybe they were wrong about some things too. Like he even says that about Marin when they hook up on Jedha, by the way, and become kind of like a couple. He knows what he wants, so he gets
and they have a good night.
Yeah, but yeah, which by the way, I love the romance in the game. It's good. It's great. It's two equals, right? Like there's always there are some really shit tier romance plots out there that happen sometimes and all these other things, but it always feels like Marin stands toe to toe with Cal, so that's why I like it so much. Like, you know what I mean? Like they feel equal. So it's
no, they are equal because I mean they even say like throughout the game, like or not throughout, but like in the game and at the end, they're like when they're talking about Kata, like we both grew up like without our parents and without anything, and Kata's about to be the same as us, so we that they are equals in that regard. So it is cool seeing that. And yeah, I mean I was rooting for Cal and Marin since the first game, man. It didn't happen there. And then like the book wants to do some weird stuff with Marin and some other stuff that I mean I guess doesn't mean shit for this game because we see how that goes. But yeah, no, I do like Cal's journey through this. I mean, shit, speaking of what you were talking about earlier, how do you feel when the first time this happens on Nova Garen when it's like embrace darkness, I was like, Cal, this is not the Jedi way, Cal. What are you doing? What do you mean embrace darkness? Like this is Bo's just some asshole. You can do it without embracing the darkness. So I was like, what is going on here? Because clearly the way that the game ends, Marin says to him, if this happens to you again, you'll let me know, right? And he's like, yeah. And he never like we don't get the conclusion of that. Like it just happens. So I mean, we'll talk about this later, but I mean, I'm sure that's going to continue in the future. But
yeah,
how did you feel about that? Because I was like, dude, no fucking way they're doing this. And like, I was watching your stream, and you noticed like when you went into the meditation, you're like, why is the sky red, dude? I saw that when you're meditating. I'm like, oh wait, just you wait a minute, buddy. I was like, Josh, you're gonna find out real soon why the sky is red.
Well, I thought because listen, we've lost Seer at this point. We're just spoiling look, if you're joining the chat, this is just with spoilers anyway. We lost Seer, and that greatly affects Cal and his all that loss and all that pain. We know I think he even admits he's afraid at one point. And like when you're afraid, we all know that fucking quote. And it leads ultimately to the dark side. And I thought that sky is red. He is in some deep, dark pain right now. I just figured that's a reflection of that. I didn't know he was going to embrace it in this moment, embrace all that pain and let it out and let it take control of him like he does. And man, does it make fighting so much easier when he embraces
I was
the
gonna
dark side.
story reasons, this is terrible, Cal. Don't do this. But when you're fighting like 50 enemies at a time, you're slicing them like butter, bro. You're just like wow. it made fighting everything so much easier. By the way, if you have not tried fighting a Rancor with that, you will fuck a Rancor up with that. Let me tell you, dude. I fought a Rancor. You know that place you were at yesterday where you find the Rancor underground or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I fought that Rancor. I fucked that Rancor up, dude. With embracing the darkness, you can kill, I think, almost anything, like, so much easier with that. I can see why they saved it till late game, because otherwise that would be OP. But I still think, like, story reasons, I'm like, man, this is Cal. What are you doing, Cal? But gameplay wise, fun as hell, dude. It's great.
Yeah,
It's a great time.
Honestly, I was like, okay, so if I use this, would it affect the story in any way? I was like, is it? I know it's not like an RPG, but like, so, you know, sometimes they give you a game where there's like a choice to do a thing, and it changes everything. And I was kind of curious. I was like, are they going to do this here where it's going to affect? You know, are they going to do that thing where they're going to throw me up and force me to? Not force me, but like put me in a position where I need to do this, you know, and it's going to affect something that happens later. I don't think it does, because I'm pretty sure all of us embrace that darkness in that moment.
Oh, no. No. I mean, they like force you to do it that one time. But yeah, Majin was telling me the same thing, because we were watching your stream as that was happening, and he's like, I wonder if it, like, you know, the more you use it, like, the worse off, you know, things get for the story or whatever. And I don't think so.
I don't think it does either. It's not an RPG with that kind of choice in it. And it's better that it's not, because when you start getting RPGs with choices, you go off into variables, and when you do a sequel to those variables, everything gets all fucky. When he embraced it, I think I even said it on the stream. I was like, "Wow, the dark side really is easier."
It does. I mean, it does make things easier, man. Yeah.
So no, I wasn't expecting it. I knew he was gonna be in pain and hurting and on all that. Like you do when somebody, you know, is murdered or dies. That's your attack. Even when they die of natural causes, you still feel pain and hurt and all that. And that story thread of the darkness is left open at the end. Like it is.
It is.
That's the thing. It's like Cal goes through this journey. He embraces the darkness. Mirren kind of saves him out of it. It kind of like, I'm not going to lose you to that and all that. That kind of happens. And when he's fighting Bode at the end, you know, he has to embrace it again. Which is a game mechanic, obviously, at this point. Because it's not resolved, right?
He hasn't resolved it. You got to use it.
Yeah, he hasn't. That story thread's not resolved. And it's still there, and he can still draw on it if he needs to. So Cal's growth throughout this game, I feel, is huge, actually. Like he sees what he is. He sees what he could become. He loses Seer. He's seen it from the first game. He's seen, like, you know, he's seen like what could happen if he found those kids with the holocron that he ultimately destroys. You know, he would be on the path to become an Inquisitor, right? The darkness. Every Jedi has to face the darkness. That's the thing that they say in the game. It's like Seer faces it at one point, and she's let it go, and that's what Cal is going to be facing in a third game. Like that is. Like that, they leave that story thread open for a reason. That is not closed. We end the game on a little bit of a downer. I feel like it's not a complete downer ending, obviously, but like it definitely feels like there's some questions out there.
It's a little bit more somber,
yeah.
I mean, that fucking funeral pyre with all three of the bodies and Seer, like, you know, appearing to Cal and stuff was, I thought, such a great
Cal.
Star Wars moment. And
Cal
oh my
stands
God,
there
dude.
and he cries, and everybody's out moving around and talking, and he's just in his own little world.
There. Yeah, dude, the soundtrack to this game, I need it. It's so fucking good. The music throughout the game was so good. Like the right moments like hit so well. Like I need the soundtrack to this fucking game, dude, because it's phenomenal. It really is so good. I kept like every time like I just kept going like Like just moments, bro. Like it was so good. Ah, love it so much. But also, just speaking of Seer, like how great is it that she got like some justice? I mean, not justice, but like she got a good moment after. Remember in the first game where Vader shows up and he just like tosses her away off to the side. She got to put up a fight with him this time around, man. Like that's so cool, man.
Yeah. And that, I don't know if I want to talk.
What?
Do you want to talk about what we might have in store for a third game yet, or do you want to wait?
I mean,
are you ready to move into that discussion?
Let's. Well, we can talk about like the end, like. So we talked about it briefly here about like you know, them being on Tanalorr. They have the compass now.
The path.
We haven't the hidden path. We haven't talked about the new addition to the crew yet. Kata.
Yeah.
She has joined the crew. She's with Grease and Marin, because that is our crew. It's Cal, Grease, Marin, and Kata. It's gonna be interesting to see how she is included from here on out. And how like what their plans for Tanalorr are. Like obviously they want to bring people here, and Grease is like, I want to make a I want to franchise this place. I want to make another saloon or whatever. But like, yeah, so where do we think they're going from here? Because we still have unresolved things, and I remember hearing a while back the director Stig Asmussen said that they always envisioned this game or these games as like a trilogy of games, like a 3-game series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have one game and a book, and then now with this new game. So we have 2 games in the book for the Star Wars Jedi series. We have to be getting another game at some point. So where do we go from here? Because, and also, I mean, this is probably going to be more than likely because we had a time jump in the first game, but like time jump, where do we go from here? Like what do we do? How many years? What are we like? There's a lot of stuff that has been resolved. There's some other stuff that hasn't been resolved. Like, what are we doing? What are you thinking?
I feel like I don't know how big of a time jump they'll do. And because I'm trying to think about the movies in relation to the games and all that stuff. I like
so think
but
of
I
it
feel
right now we're 9 BBY, so 9 years before New Hope.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I feel like Cal and Vader are gonna have to clash at some point. I think that's what's gonna, and that terrifies me. That absolutely terrifies me. I feel like they're gonna have to though. I think the Imperials are gonna come back for that third game.
I hadn't thought of that, but with him and Vader meeting up in the first game, and then in the second game, him knowing that Vader was the one that took out Seer, I could totally see that happening in the third game. And yeah, you're right about you're right. I could totally see that happening. Yeah, that could definitely be a thing.
And spoilers: Vader does not die. You know, so like,
I mean,
you know.
Yeah.
So, like, how would that clash ultimately end? Is kind of like, how would we end this? Oh, shut up, Majin. Sorry, I just read what you saw in chat.
Yeah, Cal and Kata are a team known as, it was Taika Waititi narrating. Cal and Kata are known as a team Love and Thunder.
Oh my goodness. No, but
anyway.
Cal's struggle with the darkness is gonna ultimately lead to him probably making some sort of mistake, and I think it's gonna lead to him clashing with Vader. And ultimately, it comes down to: is Cal Kestis gonna die, or is he gonna live? You know, in that third game, Tanalorr and all that. You know, I really feel like the way to go is to, like, it even happens in this game. It's like the Bedlam Raiders are the first half, and the Empire, they're forced throughout the game. They even say it, like, we got that Star Destroyer over our heads now, you know, like, that's there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The Empire is such a strong boot on the neck. I think they make their way back into as, like, the main villains, and I think Cal eventually clashes with Vader. And how it's all gonna shake out, I don't know. I really don't. Like, who's gonna die? Who's gonna live? How's it all gonna end? Um, uh, at the end of this game, Sears like guide her away from the darkness or something like that. But Cal is struggling with his own darkness right now. Uh, and that story thread is left open. So how's it all going to shake out, DT? I don't know, man, but that's my feeling. I really do feel like Cal and Vader are on this collision course, like two times. Like
Yeah.
Cal has had encounters with Vader. While he didn't have a direct encounter in the second game, he definitely, he knows Vader killed Seer, right? He was there, so.
Yep, he knows. He was the one.
And I think that third game's gonna be really fucking dark, is what I think. What about you? What do you think? What do you think we end up, DT? What do you think about that third game?
What I thought at the end of the game was like they're gonna pull as a rebels here. Like the crew is safe from the events of the original trilogy because they're on Tanalor and nobody could get to Tanalor, right?
I thought about this,
but they have the compass now, so they can come and go as they please. So I don't know, man. Like it's gonna be really interesting because I want to see. How Cal and Marin's story, kind of pans out, you know, uh, and just I think you're totally right though with the Vader and Cal coming to heads, right? Like we know that's not gonna end well for Cal if it does, but I think what I could see happening is like in the first game, them like in the first game they meet, right? And then Cal basically you don't fight him, you just run.
You run.
You stand no chance. What I could see in the next game is them fighting, but then like both like nothing happened. Like neither obviously Vader doesn't die, but like Cal doesn't die either. Like he's just
there's a draw, where he's
there's like a stalemate and like I mean not a stalemate, but like Cal like makes it out and doesn't get killed, and that kind of
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So I could see that happening.
I could see that too.
You never know. Like it really depends on what the time jump is going to be too, because we've had 5 years in between so far. So if they do another 5 from here, another 5 years down the line, if let's say they do that, for example, if they do another 5 years, that means we would be 4 years before A New Hope. So we would still be pre-original trilogy. So we would still be like, which shit, if they did that, we could. Oh man, now I'm getting ideas, dude. If we did another 5 years, we could potentially be hanging around with the Rebels crew.
Yeah.
Like with Hera and Kanan and all them, all those guys. Like that would be cool if they somehow like met at one point or another. Before like the Rebel series like really went into full gear, but that I would be down for. I think we didn't get to see Saw in this one, but if we we heard about him obviously, but if we get to see him again, that'd be interesting. Maybe if he I really don't know, man, because it really depends. I was thinking maybe some Andor stuff could happen there too.
Like my brain's also working. Like, what if Cal gives up the fight for 5 years? They're not. He's just not fighting the Empire. He's just helping the hidden path. Like, and there's just some inciting incident that draws him back in to do the fight again. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like anything can happen, man. Who knows? That's why, like, whenever people are mentioning like who could show up in the new Jedi Order movie, I'm like, they always bring up Cal. I'm like, man, Cal has his own stuff he has to deal with. I don't know if he's gonna be worried about. I mean, shit. Who knows if he even still wants to be a Jedi after a while? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Is like even in this game, he kind of is like the Jedi are no more kind of deal.
Yeah. He talks to Marin about that. It's like we don't even know if he still is or wants to be a part of all that. So I think people are too quick to assume that like, oh, just because they're not dead yet, that means anybody could show up anywhere. It's like, no, man. Like like I get that you're excited for things and maybe potential characters to or characters to potentially meet, but it's like let's have these stories like let's listen and watch and just let these stories play out basically, because they got they got their own things that they're trying to tell, man, and they're not all trying to connect everything together, which that's kind of what I get the vibe from here on this game. It's like they're obviously continuing their own game, but they're kind of separated from like everything else. I mean,
Everything else.
they're
Yeah.
dealing with High Republic stuff, and like now they're on Tanalorr, and nobody knows about Tanalorr. Tanalorr is a brand new planet, by the way. Like it hasn't been in anything ever. Like it's brand new. Like it was created for like I think for this game. I'm pretty sure. Like it's one of those planets that sounds familiar, but it is a brand new planet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I
So I don't know, man. But
I
what
don't
I
know
do
either.
know is that the future is going to be interesting. It'll be very, very, very interesting. Because again, you have Kata to deal with. You got Marin and Cal like trying to will they, won't they kind of be a thing, and like you got Grease in the middle of this, and like you now they're trying to help the hidden path and all that stuff. So there's still more that they could do for sure. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Uh for me, this is like one of the best story games in a long time in Star Wars. So for a video game, for me, like obviously it's still like high in my mind because I just beat it yesterday. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna let
we
it
just got
ruminate a
through
little
it.
more before I rank anything. But I really like the story of this game. I really love the characters and the acting is so good. Like they're just so good, and
Yeah, I
all
think
of that.
everybody did a great at what they were supposed to do for sure.
And the writing for even like just the little side characters are good.
Oh, also, yeah, I totally think Katsu's force sensitive. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I mean, Boat is her pops. She's for sure. I got vibes out of her that she was the only one on Nova Guerra that knew that Cal was not an Imperial. Like, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, there's other uh hints that she is too, but I totally think she is. Um, yeah.
I I love these characters that I would love for them to show up in like live action in some form too, like someday, just because I enjoy the characters so much. But it's fine if they never do. It's fine if they're just confined to the video games. But I really think they're cool. I just like them a lot. What else you want to talk about, DT, before we finish up?
Just I guess we can just throw out some final thoughts then. Like for me, overall, really loved the game, really enjoyed it. I have to say though, we talked about it already with the performance and all that, so we're not gonna mention that again. But I think for me, this game does almost everything better than the first one, but I like the story. I think I like the story of the first game more, to be honest with you. I like the villain more in the first game. Obviously, Trilla, I think she's more of a compelling, tragic character. And I was sad to see her go at the end of the first one. Whereas with these guys, I'm like, Dagon, Ravis is cool, but Bode, I was like, I can't, like, yeah, he's a father trying to, do his best. He can doing the best he can for his daughter, but like, I don't know, man. I just feel like there were things, at least the story and the planets and the places we got to visit that were more interesting in the first game than they were in this game.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, again, gameplay, customization, like pretty much everything this game does for me, other than villains, game, planet variety, and like the the performance, I think the first game is better on, but like this game just is bigger and better in almost every other way. So it's great. I really did enjoy the game, but I think I do have to give. I mean, again, we're so fresh, but I do think I have to give the advantage story wise to Fallen Order for me.
That's fair.
But again, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy this game because I really did. I mean, I streamed the hell out of this game the past few days. I didn't quite go Josh and do like 10-hour streams, but I kind of like spread them out here a little bit more. But I still went ham on the game. Like I think the longest stream I did was like 8 hours or something. But yeah, it was a fun time, man. I love playing these types of games because it's like you get so invested and so into it, and it's like, man, there was one day where I didn't eat till like after I stopped streaming, man. I was like, maybe I should go eat something, like like that's not always the best thing to do, but it's like it's crazy when something like that can happen when you're so invested and into it that it stops you from doing that. But yeah, overall, I just love the game. I had a great time playing it, apart from the performance issues, which really kind of stunted the game for me at times, but just everything else, I had a great time, man. So yeah, I just had an awesome time playing it, and yeah, those are just my closing thoughts, I think. So how about for you, man?
For me, I think the game is fantastic. Aside from the performance stuff, obviously we went through that. All the performance stuff needs to be fixed. As a game, enjoyed the shit out of it. I need to play the first game again before I can like be like, I like that one more, because it's been, for me, it's been I feel it. You know how my brain is, DT. Like I can't.
Yeah,
Can't remember
for
shit.
me, the story for the first one and the villain is just more interesting and compelling and stuff, and I prefer that story and that all that stuff going on as opposed to this. But again, gameplay wise, customization, everything else is like in this game they just did better. So
yeah.
So
yeah, for me, I have to play that first game again. To really wrap my head around which one's better, this one or that one. Ultimately. But they complement each other. I think that's the important bit. I really enjoy these characters, and I've enjoyed my time with the game. I'm probably not going to stream it anymore just because the performance is rough, and it just kind of ruins my enjoyment of it. I finished the game on stream, and that's good enough. All that side stuff will be just for me, baby. But I look forward to seeing if we're right about the third game. I really do feel like Cal and Vader are on a collision course, to be honest with you. And I want to play this one again as well. I want to do that new game plus at some point in the future. Probably
get that red and rainbow lightsabers.
Yeah, right, and try out those perks and all that stuff. So I guess that's gonna do it, DT. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about. Are you ready to wrap her up?
No, I think I'm good. We talked about everything. I don't want to repeat because sometimes I just ramble and repeat the same stuff I already talked about earlier. So I don't think so. One last thing. There is something that I've heard about in this game that we haven't experienced yet. And it's a shame that we didn't cover it because we haven't experienced it yet. But if you know, and I want to get to it. So maybe after we see it, we can talk about it. So this game's huge, man. It's impossible to get to everything, but
yeah,
I want to stream the game again at least one more time. I want to stream the game one more time. I want to stream the game one more time, and so we can talk about it. But in case anybody wonders why we didn't maybe talk about something that may happen, we haven't gone through it yet. I assume it happens after you complete all the bounties. But
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I know what it is.
Yeah,
it is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I heard about that last night.
we haven't gone there yet, guys. I'm sorry. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah.
I'm gonna throw it to the shout outs then. DT, you're up on the main screen.
like I was saying, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, thanks for hanging out. It's a lot of fun talking Star Wars, and it is a blast playing this game and streaming it. And yeah, I can't wait to play it some more. And then we got Visions next week, so we got more Star Wars to talk about next week as well. So Vision season 2, get ready for that. It's gonna be a lot of fun, I think. I hope. Um, yeah, just we'll be around. You can hit us up about your thoughts on the game as well if you've played it. Obviously, if you made it to this point, you probably have. So let us know what you think and what you thought about the game. Do you like it more or less than Fallen Order? What do you like more about the other one, this one, or how do you compare the two? Or what are just some of your favorite things about this game? Or I'm curious. I want to know what you guys think, how you feel about it. Other than that, that's gonna be it for me. I probably gonna be playing. I don't know what's coming up for stream for me. I know I want to do some Fallen or not Survivor. I want to play a little bit more Survivor, cover some other things, and then I want to do some Fortnite because of the Star Wars event. But other than that, I don't know. Just stay tuned and follow me on all the things. We'll be up to some fun stuff. Maybe some Valorant. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But there's a lot of Star Wars going on right now, so that's the main thing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. See you guys next week. Bye bye. May the Force be with you. Farewell.
All right, guys. Thanks everybody for checking out the show. And thanks to anybody that comes back and watches the show after they complete the game to hear our thoughts on it. Love and appreciate you guys for 158 episodes and counting. Coming up for me, I'm gonna start streaming again. I think, I'm gonna do some dice making.
Hell yeah, dude.
Knock out some games and stuff. I neglected some dice making playing Fallen Order so much. Sorry, DT, you got me saying it now. God damn it, fucking Survivor.
Hey man, it happens.
And I need to get caught up on those, and once I'm caught up on those, I'll probably do Horizon, because I need to knock out that first Horizon, and then I have some Final Fantasy stuff to get to, and then we have there's so many games coming out that I want to play too. So dice making is going to take priority for a little while, because I need to make money, but so I can buy all these goddamn games coming out. But that'll probably be streamed from the laptop from the workshop. So I'm a dice maker, 902 Dice Creations on Etsy. If you are into the business of polyhedral dice and want some custom, or just want to buy a set off the shop, come check it out. I got some stuff on there right now. I'm working on commissions. I got like 3 commissions I got to do. So make sure to come on by there. Follow us on all the things on the side. Follow the YouTube. Blasters and Bandits returns this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern, I think, was the time we did that. So check out twitch.tv/Heroes and Fables for that. A lot of things happening. Let us know what you think about the game. And yeah, that's going to do it. We'll see you all next time. Much love. Take care of each other. Be good. Let me see if there's anybody to host. Hang around in the chat. I'm going to end the recording now.